I made mistakes, been dishonest. Self-restraint, did what I wanted. I was afraid, it's not just the same. I'm not a saint, no, I'm not a saint. Oh no, it doesn't make sense. Oh no, I don't understand. When things are good, I don't believe that they're for real. I really wish I could go to learn how to fight those fears for something else instead. 'Cause lately my life is like a dream, it's dancing in my head. I must be dead. When things are good, I don't believe for real. I really wish I could just tell myself now I gotta feel the feeling instead. 'Cause lately life is like a magnet, free and dancing in my head. I must be dead. I've been a wreck, took things too far, made a mess, felt like a star. I've broken hearts and goddamn I slept the same. I'm not afraid, I'm afraid. Oh no, it doesn't make sense. Oh no, I don't understand. I don't believe that they're for real. I'm rolling with the stars, just shine more stars, just feel something else instead. 'Cause life feeling like a sideshow, life is messing with my head. I must be dead, I must be dead, I must be dead.
I'm not open, feeling emotion, put it away. And I can't even tell you where I am right now, because I don't feel light and you don't feel right. We shouldn't be, here we are. And I've already changed my face to show that I'm okay. But I'm stuck, sad and sane, we can try it again. You've got your head in your hands, I am giving in. You want to talk about, maybe that's the reason I've been feeling out loud. And it all comes down, we lost you. I think we'll meet again, I'm sure. And it all comes down, without you I think we'll meet again, I'm sure. I'm coping, feeling emotion, put it away. And I can't even tell you how I feel right now, 'cause I don't see light and I don't feel right. We shouldn't be, here we are. And I wanted to change your name and she could have the same. But I'm stuck, sad and sane, we can try it again. You've got your head in your hands, I am giving in. You wanna talk about, maybe that's the reason I've been feeling out loud. And it all comes down, we lost you. I think we'll meet again, I'm sure. And it all comes down, without you I think we'll meet again, I'm sure. Now I remember the words to the lullaby I wanted to sing to you. Now I remember the way that I buckled under the weight of a black balloon. And it all comes down, we lost you. I think we'll meet again, I'm sure. And it all comes down, without you I think we'll meet again, I'm sure. Now I remember the words to the lullaby I wanted to sing to you. Now I remember the way that I buckled under the weight of a black balloon. And it all sure. Now I remember the words to the lullaby I wanted to sing to you. Now I remember the way that I buckled under the weight of a black balloon. And it all comes down, we lost you. I think we'll meet again, I'm sure. And it all comes down, we lost you. I think we'll meet again, I'm sure. I'm not open, feeling emotion, put it away. And I can't even tell you where I am right now, because I don't feel right and she don't feel right. We shouldn't be, shouldn't be, shouldn't be. Here we are. And I've already changed my face to show that I'm okay. But I'm stuck, sad, and saying we could try it again. You've got your head in your hands, I am giving in. You wanna talk about, maybe that's the reason I've been feeling out loud. And it all comes down, we've lost you. I think we'll meet again, I'm sure. And it all comes down, we've lost you. I think we'll meet again, I'm sure. I'm caught up in taking emotion, put it away. And I can't even tell you where I am right now, because I don't feel right and she don't feel right. We shouldn't be, shouldn't be, shouldn't be. Here we are. And I've already changed my face to show that I'm okay. But I'm stuck, sad, and say we can try it again. You got your head in your hands, I am giving right then. You wanna talk about, maybe that feeling, feeling I make feel alive. And it all comes down, we lost you. I think we'll meet again, I'm sure. And it all comes down, without you. I think we'll meet again, I'm sure. Now I remember the words to the lullaby I wanted to sing to you. Now I remember the way that I buckled under the weight of a black balloon. And it all comes down, we lost you. I think we'll meet again, I'm sure.
Hear the drums echoing tonight, but she hears only whispers of some quiet conversation. She's coming in 12:30 flight. The moonlit wings reflect
What's up, everyone?
stars that guide me towards salvation. I stopped an old man along the way, hoping to find some old forgotten words or ancient melodies. He turned to me as if to say,
I don't know if the drops are on yet.
it's gonna take a lot to drag me away from you.
Not on my channel, I mean, but like enabled to that drops.
Gonna take some time to do the things we never had. Ooh.
Oh yeah, it doesn't. The drop doesn't officially start until the event starts at
As they grow
2 hours from now.
for some solitary
What up, Harry?
company.
And yeah, Jake, there's
What's right, a short
the last POE 2 event before the beta, or the alpha, I guess.
Serengeti.
I don't think there's too much that extra. I mean, they might surprise us. Maybe they'll be like, "Just kidding, it's all 6 acts." But they told us it's going to be a $30 supporter pack, so that was probably the biggest question, and they already answered that. Oh yeah, cheesecake's still there, bud. Well, it should be. I haven't changed anything. I'm broke for where I would usually be at this point. I was able to get a janky 3 Flask Mage Blood with a terrible implicit. Well, terrible for me. But it was cheap, so I was like, alright, I gotta just grab it. Well, I ran Sanctum for quite a while, but then I started doing Maven boss farming and farming Maven invitations. That hasn't been like crazy profitable, but it's a lot of fun. I actually enjoyed doing it, so if I wanted to make a bunch of currency, I'd keep running Sanctum, but got kind of burnt out on Sanctum. Yeah. Well, got Tournament for Chaos to get upgrades for your build. It's all just making it so you can farm faster.
My listening so otherworldly, hear the beating get swirly behind some melting glass, washing over like sea waterflies humming to bands of men. My newest friends fly above me.
I have to figure out the right audio level. Is my music, when I play the last like couple streams that anyone's been here, is the music like stupid low? Because it's like loud for me, and it says it's loud for the stream, or loud enough. But then I just like clicked on my stream a minute ago and I was like, I can barely hear the damn music.
It's the fall of flying creatures. Depth starts to reach us. Open your wide wings and screech. With bats howling at the moon. It's a fall revolving around each sound through sunny prints by the mouthful. Anywhere I could mention with some care, automatic energy takes off. It's the season of flutterbys. In the morning meeting times, teach me to crawl to the scent, taken of all hints earthly. It's the season of flutterbys, crawling up to meet the sky, taking off its open eyes for
Yeah, not terrible. I don't know, if it ever sounds shitty, just be like, hey, your audio levels are garbage. Patch notes. 45 minutes.
And all I am is a man. I want the world in my hands. I hate the beach, but I stand in California with my toes in the sand. Use the sleeves of my sweater, let's have an adventure.
Well, that's a lie. The patch notes are not
Centered, touch my neck and
in the patch notes form.
I'll in those little high-waisted shorts. Oh, she knows what I think about and what I think about. One love, two mouths. One love, one house. No shirt, no blouse, just us. You find out nothing that I wouldn't want to tell you about. No, 'cause it's too cold.
New high score!
What does high score mean?
Hey, thanks for the prime
High
sub,
score,
man.
is that bad?
Appreciate it.
What does that mean? Did I break it?
And if I may just
Yeah, there's no patch notes.
The goosebumps start to raise the minute that my left hand meets your waist. And then I watch your face, put my finger on your tongue, cause you love the taste, yeah. These hearts adore everyone the other beats hard is for. Inside this place is warm, outside it starts to pour. Coming down, one love, two mouths, one love, one house. No shirt, no blouse.
I actually don't know what the Twitch drops are.
Find out nothing that I wouldn't want to tell you about.
That is both creepy and ugly. Eh. Not my thing. I don't think I've liked any of the Twitch drops for POE, to be honest. Got what? One time we got a back attachment. I think it was these. Or was it these? Might have been both of these. Well, they look cool with my buff effect. Well, kinda. These might look cool on this build. Since I do get charges. Oh, nice, dude. I've never gotten a 40 out of 40. There was only one league I really wanted to, though, and the last, like, 3 I had to do were just not gonna happen. It would have taken way too long.
Let me hold both your hands in the holes of my sweater. 'Cause it's too cold for you here and now. Let me hold both your hands in the holes of my sweater.
Whenever I'm alone with you, you make me feel like I am home again. Whenever I'm alone with you, you make me feel like I am home again. Whenever I'm alone with you, you make me feel like I am home again. Whenever I'm alone with you, you make me feel like I am whole again. Whenever I'm alone with you, you make me feel like I am.
Damn it, Elemental Reflect. Gotta remember. No Q. Get my fucking pinky off the Q. There they are. Just because you forgot your login? Oh, for Twitch you mean. Yeah. Ah, womp womp.
Shouldn't be, here we are. And I've already changed my face to show that I'm okay. But I'm stuck, sad and saying we can try it again. You've got your head in your hands, I'm giving in. You wanna talk about maybe that's the reason I've been feeling out loud. And it all comes down, we lost you. I think we'll meet again, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, it's fucking awesome. I love Cyberpunk. I was just playing it the other day. It'll tell you when you're like going past the point of no return also. Where it'll say like if you go any farther, the side quests are locked out. The main story one is when you meet Hanako at the Embers Hotel. That's the mission where everything escalates. Forgot I can't do 60% recovery. They have all the increased effect mods. Yeah, you're getting pretty relatively close. I think you got like a couple more story missions before you hit that point. Make sure near the end of the parade quest, there's a mission where you have an option to go back to save someone. Make sure you go back and save them or you lock yourself out of a bunch of endings. Oops.
people need a lot of attention. They say some shit like it has an effect on me. You're so obsessed with looking down. You eat, sleep, breathe my name in your mouth. Expectations low, but I feel high. Never fit the mold. Fuck getting by. I wanna hear how much you hate me. How my existence drives you crazy. I'd rather be a fucking thorn in your side than listen to you tell me how to live my life. I bet you're so proud. Talk is cheap and I don't hear a sound. Listen to you tell me how to live my life. Red light, down, circus, don't walk, talk while I walk, walk, walk. The more you speak, the less I listen. Talk, talk, talk while I walk, walk, walk. Look away. You got nothing on me. Why waste your breath? Why waste your words? They mean nothing to me. Talk, talk, talk while I walk, walk, walk. Look away. While I walk away. What do you have to say while you're sitting alone? I've been building a throne, so confident in what you don't know. The only truth is that you're still unknown. Last line, talk, circle, shot, talk, talk while I walk, walk, walk. The more you speak, the less I listen. Talk, talk, talk while I walk, walk, walk. Look away. You got nothing on me. Why waste your breath? Why waste your words? They mean nothing to me. While I walk away. We got nothing on me. While I walk away. This captain goes down with the ship. All hands on deck, stand hip to hip. I struck the order, fuel to ship. I'm dressed to thrill, I'm dressed to thrill. And all my enemies, I want their eyes to see. Their captain walked the plank, destroy them rank by rank. Sail with me into the setting sun. The battle has been won, but war has just begun. And as we grow, emotions start to die. We need to find a way just to keep our desire alive. Now set the sails to quartermast. We'll jump the ship, we'll sink them fast. Men follow me to victory. Red as the sea, red as the sea. And to the cannons roar. Their bodies dance ashore. A pirate's life for me. I won't go quietly. Sail with me into the setting sun. The battle has been won, but war has just begun. And as we grow, emotions
+3 to Frostblink, baby.
we need to find a way just to keep our desire alive. And to my damsel in distress, you've made a mess of your new dress. You've made a mess of your new dress. You made a mess. Sail with me into the setting sun. The battle has been won, but war has just begun. And as we grow, emotion starts to die. We need to find a way just to keep our desire alive. And to my damsel in distress, you've made a mess of your new dress. You've made a mess of your new dress. You've made a mess. Sail with me into the setting sun. The battle has been won, but war has just begun. And as we grow, emotion starts to die. We need to find a way just to keep our desire alive. Undress to thrill, undress to thrill. Just to keep our desire alive. Undress to thrill, undress to thrill. You've seen so many faces that I've never seen before. I must send on a warning message telling you to come over. Dramatic, automatically assume I'll stay the same. 'Cause there's a change in pressure. We're
Nice, Forge of the Phoenix. Oh, Scarab conversion. Is this a unique? I'm not sure.
You might also need it. My heart stops beating. We'll bleed the same way. All my broken veins say. Much than what we can. Put your hands above, show me and then we can stop this now. The feeling I can't stand. I should know better than, but we can stop this now. I feel like better than, but we can stop this now. I feel my barriers are crumbling down, so I close my eyes to this is over now. She said, don't stop till the feeling's gone. Heart fell with her bra and her panties on. She said, I won't keep
Scarabs don't really sell in bulk with this Necro Sellers League, or else I'd have a lot more currency. It's one really big negative to this event.
Could you be lost? Are you so free? Do you long to be when the sun goes down? Do you feel the fear when there's no one near? You know it's such a mystery how you washed up over me, and I couldn't breathe, I couldn't speak, the sky drowned. But it's my kind. I'll never be cruel, and I'll always play the fool, to be loveless, shameless as you. But I'm so blind, I'll do it again. I feel your eyes sinking, so faithless as you've been. Yes, I'm so lost, I am not free, but I long to be when life goes down. Do you feel as though you're gonna drown? You're going down. You're gonna drown. You're going down. But it's my kind.
Oops.
I'll never be cruel, and I'll always play the fool, to be loveless, shameless as you. But I'm so blind, yeah. I'll do it again. I feel your eyes sinking, so faithless as you've been. You're gonna drown. You're gonna drown. You're gonna drown. But it's my kind. I'll never be cruel, and I'll always play the fool, to be loveless, shameless as you. But I'm so blind, yeah. I'll do it again. I feel your eyes sinking, so faithless as you've been. You're gonna drown.
Let's sail away, find our own country. We'll build a house and beds out of palm trees. Let's get away, let's push our lives aside. I'll sport a smile, taking some color under the stars. I'll be your lover with no distractions. I'm gonna treat you right. When it seems like things are only getting better, when it seems like we can never catch a break, just to keep a hold on me, don't let go. If you float away, if you float away, waiting too long for a ship to come, don't you float away, don't you float away. Let's go to bed, let's stop debating. Look at the time, we're always waiting, but we're in love, and that should be just fine. When it seems like things are only getting better, when it seems like we can never catch a break, just keep a hold on me, don't let go. If you float away, if you float away, if you we survive, get out alive.
Nice.
Don't cry, I'll bring the song to you. City and desert coexist depending on the things you're wearing. Wildlife binoculars. Tell me that you want me. Tell me that you want me.
Got an audio message from work. Give me 1 second.
They teach you suffer to resist too much intention. Presbyterian intellect. Testosterone. Tell me that you want me. Tell me that you want me. Cool. I'm just trying to be cool. It's all because of you. Some fanatic attitude where we're both on. Open for business, is it all? You can't go wrong. This innocent, immature way of telling me that you want me. Tell me that you want it all. They teach you suffer to resist too much intention. Presbyterian intellect. Testosterone. Tell me that you want me. Tell me that you want me. Cool. I'm just trying to be cool. It's all because of you. Some fanatic attitude we're both on. Open for business, says it all. You can't go wrong. Innocent, immature way of tell me that you want me. Tell me that you want it all. Tell me that you want it all. 2 dozen pink and white ranunculus. Why? What are the problems to solve? To part-time holy bachelors. Tell them that you want me. Tell them that you want me. Cool. I'm just trying to be cool. It's all because of you. Some fanatic attitude we're both on. Open for business, says it all. You can't go wrong. Complaints sound too cynical. Where you're from. Tell me that you want me. Tell me that you want it all. Why don't you tell me that you want me? Tell me that you want it all. Why don't you tell me that you want me? Tell me that you want
Put my headphones.
So play a song by the water. We'll dance with no shoes on. We're happy smiling neath the little moonlight glow.
Okay.
Cool summer night. Wanna stay with you inside. Stone cold, but you and I, we both know when these nights are so right. It's strange the way you've been drawing so many circles by hand. You walk away, but you smile. Now do you understand? Rose petals in your hair. You tied a sweet one in mine. You said you loved the design. That's all I heard. Reach past the rain, smooth on your skin.
I can't, man. I'm on YouTube. I'd love to, but you get flagged like immediately. Especially a more mainstream band like Tool that people know. That's copyrighted for sure.
Your feet, just 'cause you cut me to the bone, and I won't miss the way that you kiss me. We were never carved in stone. If I don't listen to the talk of the town, then maybe I can fool myself. I get over you, I get over you. I know I will. I'll pretend my ship's not sinking, and I'll tell myself I'm over you. 'Cause I'm the king of wishful thinking. I am the king of wishful thinking. I refuse to give in to my blues. And I'm the king of wishful thinking. I am the king of wishful thinking. My home, to cool my heart, and now I've got to fool myself. I get over you, I know I will. I'll pretend my ship's not sinking, and I'll tell myself I'm over you. 'Cause I'm the king of wishful thinking. I am the king of wishful thinking.
Yeah, I love Tool.
I'll get over you. If I don't listen to the talk of the town, then maybe I can fool myself. I'm over you, 'cause I'm the king of wishful thinking. I am the king of wishful thinking. I'll get over you, I know I will. I'll pretend my ship's not sinking, and I'll tell myself I'm over you. 'Cause I'm the king of wishful thinking. I am the king of wishful thinking.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't reset it yet, you said. I still got 4 minutes.
And I give up forever to touch, because I know that you feel me somehow. You're the closest to heaven that I'll ever be, and I don't wanna go home right now. And all I could taste is this moment, and all I can breathe is your life. And sooner or later it's over. I just don't wanna miss you tonight. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand when everything's made to be broken. I just want you to know who I am.
Added support for our upcoming announcements and new supporter packs. Alright, so they added the beta one. Or they're going to add the alpha thing. I wonder if you get any cosmetics with it. I might have already said if you do.
The realization of that dream.
10 years ago, we had a dream to make the best action RPG ever.
Made with all the lessons we learned from POE 1 and with the passion from our talented team, we believe Path of Exile 2 is the realization of that dream.
We want to thank you for being on the journey with us so far.
And to think, this is just the beginning.
Any new teasers? I haven't checked this in a while. Plasma Blast? Did I watch this one? Oh yeah, dude. That does look pretty sweet. And it also looks slow as shit. That'd be cool if they did that next, but fucking people would be pissed. Because the people, like, including me, I'm taking off work for the day. So could you imagine if they did that? You already, like, took off for that Friday, and you're at work right now? People would be so mad. Oh yeah, so shock is now called electrocute, apparently. That's a build-up, it's not, like, instant. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be relatively faster. How much faster? Guess we're gonna have to see. But I'm sure it'll be faster. Sorry, answering work stuff.
I just want you to know who I am.
Nice, dude.
To see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand when everything's made to be broken.
I like boxes, but they never work out that well for me. There's always like I know it's profitable and it's at least remotely profitable, but for some reason I just have such shitty luck with like box farming.
Walking down the street in the city, lights glow. High-rise buildings shining, casting shadows below. Neon signs flicker, music playing loud. Lost in the crowd, feeling proud. Concrete jungle where dreams are made. Streets filled with people, grand parade. Every corner, a story to be told. In the city of gold, we're never too old. The hustle and bustle, the rhythm of the night. With every heartbeat, the city takes flight. Voices intertwine, creating a beautiful symphony. A fusion of cultures, a sight to see. Could you be lost? Are you so free? Do you long to be? When the sun goes down, do you feel the fear when there's no one near? You know it's such a mystery how you washed up over me. And I couldn't breathe, I couldn't speak, lest I drown. But it's my time. I'll never be cruel and I'll always play the fool. To be loveless, shameless as you. But I'm so blind. I'll do it again. I feel your eyes again. So faithless as you've been. Yes, I'm so lost. I'll do it again. I feel your eyes sinking. So faithless, you've done it again. I feel your eyes again. So faithless as you've been. Yes, I'm so blind. Yeah, I'll do it again. I feel your eyes again. So faithless as you've been. But
Yeah, no, it's still good. It's still a great strategy.
be cruel and always
I just have terrible luck with it.
shameless as you, but I'm so blind, yeah. I'll do it again. I feel your eyes sinking. So faithless as you've been.
Oh, you can't check the forums when it's down for maintenance?
I'm so blind, yeah.
That's lame.
Do it again. I feel your eyes sinking. So faithless as you've been. Yes, I'm so blind. I'll do it again. I feel your eyes sinking. So faithless as you've been. But it's my time. I'll never be cruel and always play the fool. To be loveless.
Let's sail away, find our own country. We'll build a house and beds out of palm trees. Let's get away.
Huh.
Let's push our lives aside. I'll sport a smile, take in some color under the stars. I'll be your lover with no distractions. I'm gonna treat you right. When it seems
Holy shit, is this true?
getting better,
You only have to push one of the buttons just on the side of the boss you want?
never catch a break.
I didn't know this.
Just to keep a hold on me, don't let
I just hit them all.
float away, you can float away. Ain't too long for shit to come. Don't you float away, don't you float away. Let's go to bed, let's stop debating. Look at the time, we're always waiting. But we're in love and that should be just fine. When it seems like things are only getting better. When it seems like we can never catch a break. Just keep a hold on me, don't let go. If you float away, if you float away. Ain't too long for shit to come. Don't you float away, don't you float away. Go to bed, let's stop debating. Look at the time, we're always waiting. But we're in love and that should be just fine. When it seems like things are only getting better.
Sub 24 hour, level 100 and sub 24 hours solo self-found.
Just keep a hold on me, don't let go. If you
What'd he play?
if you float away, ain't too long for shit to come. Don't you float away, don't you float away.
And if you like some other time, I would
Reach
like to
beyond
introduce you
ritual
to the
delirium ones.
finer things. If we survive, get out
No, I don't care about
I'd like to say how beautiful I think you are. And if you like some other time, I would like to introduce you to the finer things. If we survive,
Righteous Fire. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'd like to say how beautiful I think you are. Just to keep a hold on me, don't let go. If you float away, ain't too long for a ship to come. Don't you float away, don't you float away.
Gold Quant is a stat. UB2. Okay, that one's guaranteed. Wait. No, Jonathan? Never mind, that's not guaranteed. In fact, that's probably not happening. I don't know if that's gonna... I think this will probably be the last announcement.
I'm still stitching up the stacks you left, weaving in and out slowly.
Ooh, passive tree list. That would be crazy. They released the passive tree. This would be even nuttier. They just put out POE2. And game is no longer maps? No. That's not a chance. That'll definitely stay the same. Oh, this is a great one. That's a great idea. If they even still have those masteries in POE2.
It's the only defense we have left. A bad decision leaves me open, and I'm left here shut to days. If I could replay the words we said, I'd see you all amazed. And still it's not enough. Save yourself and demonize us. And as your curtain draws, we see the tears of the fallen. It's the only defense we have
Ah. Cute.
It must be your skin. I'm sinking in. It must be for real. 'Cause now I can feel. I didn't mind. It's not my kind. It's not my time to wonder.
I don't know, some edgy name.
Everything gone right, everything's great. Now you're here, now you're away. I don't know this, remember that. I'll never forget where you're at. Don't let the days go by. Glycerine, glycerine. I'm never alone. I'm alone all the
Can you hold my hand?
Yeah,
Mom?
hold your hand.
Mom, can you give me some money, please? Mom, can you give me some money, please? Stop fucking around!
I can't.
Mom, give me some fucking money, please! What are you doing? I'm your son!
That was a depressing fucking movie.
one. Do you lie? We live in a wheel where everyone steals, but when we rise, it's like straw.
Yeah, 500k on Twitch. Doubt it.
What's that?
Okay, imagine a sandwich, but with battle royale.
Could have been easier on you, I couldn't change the one I wanted to. It should have been easier, but I freed
Yeah, those are pretty good. Wonder how you get a Bissa socket on rares.
She falls around me. I needed you more. You wanted us less. I could not kiss. Just rest, regress. It might not just be clear, simple and plain. Well, that's just fine. That's just one of my names. Don't let the days go by. Could have been easier. You, glycerine, glycerine, glycerine.
Bulge sprayer. Huh.
As she falls around me, I needed you more. You wanted us less. I could not kiss. Just regress, rest. It might just be clear, simple and plain. Well, that's just fine. That's just one of my names. Don't let the days go by. Could have been easier on you. You. Honey's right. Honey's right. Honey's right. Honey's right.
What a fucking gamble.
I've been staring at the sky. It's all polyester. I've been praying to Monday that I can love her better. 'Cause she said I'm gold, and that's the greatest loss. She told me you remind me of everything I'm not. All of the people lie and you never do. All of the people say you know it's true. Don't lie, but they say you do. The best that ever was. Dopamine hit me and hit me whenever I call. Better than all. Remember how she used to talk? Have me believing I'm gonna be everyone she is not. As long as I'm breathing, and she said I'm gold, and that's the greatest loss. She told me you remind me of everything I'm not. the people lie and you never do. All of the people say you know it's true. Don't lie, but they say you do. The best that ever was, dopamine hit me and hit me whenever I call. Better than all. Remember how she used to talk? Had me believing I'm gonna be everyone she is not, as long as I'm breathing. And she said I'm gold, and that's the greatest loss. She told me you remind me of everything I'm not.
Cause you wouldn't take me home. Your eyes are yet to be clear now. 'Cause you wouldn't take me home. You were right, I wasn't listening. I never told you what you were missing. I never wanted to heal. We are the only ones we are running from. I never wanted to heal. We are the only ones we are running from. This was the only way we knew how to make everything just okay. I'll make it up tonight. Someone's 2 steps too close with his waking eyes. We'll make believe that everything's alright. 'Cause you wouldn't take me home. Your eyes are yet to be clear now. 'Cause you wouldn't take me home. You're right, I wasn't listening. I never told you what you were missing. I never wanted to heal. We are the only ones we are running from. I never wanted to heal. We are the only ones we are running from. I never wanted to heal. We are the only ones we are running from. I never wanted to heal. We are the only ones we are running from. I want to break it off. Where's your song? 'Cause there's nothing going on. I never wanted to heal all the things that you told me. I never wanted to heal. We are the only ones we are running from. I never wanted to heal. We are the only ones we are running from. I never wanted to heal. All the things that you told me are the only ones we are.
Hey girl, you know you drive me crazy. One look puts the rhythm in my hand. Still I'll never understand why you hang around. I see what's going down. It's not you and me. Comrades are stuck up in America. Tell yourself it's never gonna happen again. You cry alone and then he swears he loves you. Do you feel like a man when you push her around? Do you feel better now?
Jesus, they hit hard. Oh yeah, is my lightning at max? Yeah, my lightning's at 65.
A pebble in the water makes a ripple effect. Every action in this world will bear a consequence. If you wait around forever, you will surely drown. I see what's going down. I see the way you
go and say you're right again. Say you're right again. Heed my lecture. Do you feel like a man when you push her around? Do you feel better now as she falls to the ground? Well, I'll tell you, my friend, one day this world's going to end as your eyes crumble down. A new life she has found. A pebble in the water makes a ripple effect. Every action in this world will bear a consequence. If you wait around forever, you will surely drown. I see what's going down. I see the way you go and say you're right again. Say you're right again. Heed my lecture. Do you feel like a man when you push her around? Do you feel better now as she falls to the ground? Well, I'll tell you, my friend, one day this world's going to end as your eyes crumble down. A new life she has found. Face down in the dirt, she said. This doesn't hurt, she said. I finally had enough. Face down in the dirt, she said. This doesn't hurt, she said. I finally had enough. One day she will tell you that she has had enough. It's coming round again. Do you feel like a man when you push her around? Do you feel better now as she falls to the ground? Well, I'll tell you, my friend, one day this world's going to end as your eyes crumble down. A new life she has found. Do you feel like a man when you push her around? Do you feel better now as she falls to the ground? Well, I'll tell you, my friend, one day this world's going to end as your eyes crumble down. A new life she has found. Face down in the dirt, she said. This doesn't hurt, she said. I finally had enough.
Midnight on a beach in the Mediterranean, and I miss you even here taking it all in. The sand silver carries the moon on its shoulders. Is it possible to put this night to tune and move it to you, 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 and move it to you. Don't cry, I'll bring this home to you. If I can make this night light enough to move. Don't cry, I'll bring this home to you. Don't cry, I'll bring this home to you. If I can make this night light enough to move. Don't cry, I'll bring this home to you. Don't cry, I'll bring this home to you. If I can make this night light enough to move. Don't cry, I'll bring this home to you. If I can make this night light enough to move. Don't cry, I'll bring this home to you. Cargo ships move by, tracing on the horizon line. There's a luster from the city lights on the waves that kiss our feet. And we're thinking of going in. And we're thinking of going in. The time's getting thin. The time's getting thin. If I can make this night light enough to move. Don't cry, I'll bring this home to you. If I can make this, if I can make this. Don't cry, I'll bring this home to you. Don't cry, I'll bring this home to you. Home to you. This is a city for not sleeping and thin. Don't cry, I'll bring this home to you. If I can make this, if I can make this. Don't cry, I'll bring this home to you.
Drink up, baby doll. Are you in or are you out? Leave your things behind, 'cause it's all going off without you. Excuse me, too busy, writing your tragedy. These mishaps, you bubble wrap when you've no idea what you like. So let go, jump in. Oh well, what you waiting for? It's alright, 'cause there's beauty in the breakdown. So let go, yeah, let go, just get in. Oh, it's so amazing here. It's alright. lives. And then it rises with the fall, so hand me that remote. Can't you see that all that stuff's a sideshow? Such boundless pleasure, we've no time for later now. You can't await your own arrival. You have 20 seconds to comply. So let go, jump in. Oh well, what you waiting for? It's alright, 'cause there's beauty in the breakdown. So let go, yeah, let go, just get in. Oh, it's so amazing here. It's alright, 'cause there's beauty in the breakdown. So let go, jump in. Oh, what you waiting for? It's alright, 'cause there's beauty in the breakdown. So let go, yeah, let go, just get in. Oh, it's so amazing here. It's alright, 'cause there's beauty in the breakdown. So let go, jump in. Oh, well, what you waiting for? It's alright, 'cause there's beauty in the breakdown. So let go, yeah, let go, just get in. Oh, it's so amazing here. It's alright, 'cause there's beauty in the breakdown.
In 217, so I got 15. Just to say we're sorry for the black eyes and bleeding lips. When it's hard to forget how many lies we've told or how old we'd grow before I said goodbye. So let's scrape our knees on the playground, on the playground, on the playground. It's not your fault you feel 26 more minutes.
it's too late in the day. It's not your fault you feel betrayed. You can't come out to play.
I never listened to a word you never said. I never listened to a word you never said.
Wasting the hours now. We're all suckers for tragedies. When start this over again, and you bring us to our knees. As sunrise comes and the story will sell, there'll be 100 papers, so we'll follow you up. It's not your fault you feel okay. It's too late in the day. It's not your fault you feel betrayed. You can't come out to play.
I never listened to a word you never said. I never listened to a word you never said.
Wasting the hours now, we're all suckers for tragedies. Let's start this over again, and you bring us to our knees. As sunrise comes, and the story will sell, there'll be 100 papers, so we'll follow you up. It's not your fault, you feel okay. It's too late in the day. It's not your fault, you feel betrayed. You can't come out to play.
I never listened to a word you never said. I never listened to a word you never said.
So raise your hands up high and let this rain pour on. So raise your hands up high and wash us away. Like innocence and childbirth. You look just like your mother, and you look just like your father. Forgive him, our father, your son is smiling. So lay roses around you.
Yeah, that works.
Staunch your forge your thigh. Are all suckers for tragedies. When start this over again, and you bring us to our knees. As sunrise comes, and the story will sell, there'll be 100 papers, so we'll follow you up. So raise your hands up high and let this rain pour on. So raise your hands up high and wash us away. Like innocence and childbirth. You look just like your mother, and you look just like your father. Forgive him, our father, your son is smiling. So lay roses around you. Raise your hands up high and let the rain pour on. So raise your hands up high and wash us away like innocence and childbirth. You look just like your mother, and you look just like your father. Forgive me, our father, your son is smiling. Are there innocents around you? Are my roses around you? So remise hands up high and wash us away like innocence and childbirth.
Can you hear the silence? Can you see the dark? Can you fix the broken? Can you feel my heart? Can you feel my heart? Can you feel my heart? I'm scared to get close and I hate being alone. I long for that feeling to not feel at all. The higher I get, the lower I'll sink. sink. I can't drown my demons, they know how to swim. To get close and I have been alone. I long for that feeling to not feel at all. The higher I get, the lower I'll sink. I can't drown my demons, they know how to swim. To get close and I have been alone. I long for that feeling to not feel at all. The higher I get, the lower I'll sink. I can't drown my demons, they know how to swim. Can you feel my heart? Can you feel my heart? Can you
I don't think anyone cares about.
begging on my knees? Can you save my best
Too
friend?
complex.
So will you wait for me? I'm sorry, brother, so sorry, lover. Forgive me, father, I love you, mother. Can you feel my heart? 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 Can you feel get close and I hate being alone for that feeling to not feel it all. The higher I get, the lower I'll sink. I can drown my demons, they know how to swim. Can you feel get close and I hate being alone for that feeling to not feel it all. The higher I get, the lower I'll sink. I can drown my demons, they know how to swim. Can you feel get close and I hate being alone for that feeling to not feel it all. The higher I get, the lower I'll sink. I can drown my demons, they know how to swim. Can you feel get close and I hate being alone for that feeling to not feel it all. The higher I get, the lower I'll sink. I can drown my demons, they know how to swim. Can you feel get Can you feel my heart? so far from whatever you think you can be. But you've got your clasp wrapped tight around me, and it's making it hard to breathe. I feel my barriers are crumbling down, so I'll close my eyes till this is over now. She said, don't stop.
Alright, 10 minutes. I'm gonna go throw something in the microwave for lunch. I'll be back in a couple minutes.
I won't keep you, I won't keep you long. Hold on, I got a good life on the way. Picket fence, 3 kids, won't throw it away. She said, I won't keep you, I won't keep you long. Whoa.
You've got me under your spell, bottled up till it releases, then tear me to pieces. You hate it too, I can tell. Apologetic bird of prey. Where do we go from here? Temptress of sorrow, we'll wake up tomorrow and forget each other's names. Bury the memory.
She said, don't stop till the feeling's gone. Hard path with her bra and her pennies on. She said, I won't keep you, I won't keep you long. Hold on, I got a good life on the way. Picket fence, 3 kids, won't throw it away. She said, I won't keep you, I won't keep
Grab some soda. What are we looking at? 6 minutes. Put it on the right. Feel a little crazy.
are we facing here?
A relic of the old world. Ready your men, Captain. We will only get one chance. And remember, when you hear the whispers, call for help. Do not attack.
When you hear the whispers, what do you think he was on about?
It's Dorman, right?
Yeah?
Then Dorman, shut your damn mouth. Ugh, why do I always get stuck with these rookies?
Hey, the kid's got a mean cleave. Give him a chance.
Quiet.
Hmm?
Sullen!
Pretty badass cinematic.
A mean cleave, eh, Captain? Rookie can't even lift his own sword. Captain Oren? Captain? It's here. Rain! Send the signal!
What the fuck?
Rain! On my back, Rookie. Blade up!
Come on, come on! I'm ready. I'm ready. It's a man.
No, it's not.
Can we move like him in the game?
Run.
Well then.
Captain!
Stop! Humanity isn't ready. On your feet, lad.
Sir, the captain,
You'll be fine. Here.
He'll be fine? I don't know about that.
What is it?
Get the body.
Stop. Mortal. It can still be contained. You don't know what you have unleashed.
Your kind no longer control this world. We cannot destroy your body, it's true. But you will watch as we destroy everything you have built. Bind him! Feed. Grow, my child. I'll make sure you can eat your fill.
Gross. I'm assuming that's the guy that's growing. Hi, I'm Chris Wilson.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers,
Or,
Game
yeah.
Director on Path of Exile 2. Now, Path of Exile 2 is going into early access in around 2 weeks on December the 6th. But even though it's early access, this isn't just some small taste. The game is huge. In this livestream, we're going to be introducing everything you can expect. So without further ado, let's roll the gameplay trailer.
Existence is a thing of beauty, precious, but impermanent. Life and death are mortal enemies, and yet bound to one another. The continuation of life must be protected at all costs. Some have said, my methods are brutal. To this, I say, there can be no salvation without sacrifice. We are faced with the end, and I will do what I must.
Oh, fuck. Is that the map? The map? The atlas?
Those who obsess with death, let them soon be acquainted with it.
Now, as you just saw, even in early access, Path of Exile 2 is a big game. It's actually been 5 years since we announced POE 2, and over that time we've revealed a lot, but it's been in bits and pieces. It's pretty hard to keep track of it all, so today we're going to do a full rundown of all the content that will be available at the start of early access. Classes, character progression systems, and for the first time, a full overview of the end game. This is going to be a big one, so get comfortable. For 20 years, Rayclast has been free from any sources of corruption. But the Count of Ogham, tempted by promises of power, intends to harness
Thanks,
it once
Craig.
more. The dead are rising.
Downloadable
Monsters are
switchblades.
mutating, and madness is spreading. Under the dark influence of corruption, the Count doles out sentences of death to any who would question him. And this is where you find yourself at the start of POE 2. Explore the dark forests of Ogham. Traverse the barren
F.
plains of the Vasteri Desert, and delve into the jungle ruins of Utsal.
No, it's
an
not me.
ancient Val
That's just
city.
the stream.
There are challenges
Oh, come on.
challenging monsters, hidden runes, lost camps and treasures, roaming merchants, and of course, unique bosses. No two areas are the same. It falls to you to track down the seed of corruption, the source of all this devastation. On the way, you'll face fearsome monsters, meet strange characters, forge unlikely bonds, and uncover lost civilizations. But first, you'll need to pick a class.
Yeah, it's doing it for everyone. It's there. It's on their end.
Early access will initially have 6 classes available. Let's have a look at them. The monk is a fast and furious melee fighter.
Yeah, look how fast he's going.
Out of combat and his mechanics
Yeah, look at
building
him.
up and
He's so fast he freezes every half a second.
Like all classes in POE 2, you'll want to use a wide variety of skills to mix and match different combos.
And teleport.
To get
Oh, this isn't good.
new skills, you will first need to find skill gems. Using a skill gem will open the gem cutting menu, which shows all the active skills available in POE 2. You can choose an existing.
They had a technical difficulty screen ready. That's good on them. They're like, you know what? In case some shit happens, we gotta have a scene that, like... I don't like to glaze GGG too much because they get so much glaze constantly, but that is dope that they have this. They aren't just like, well, fuck it, keep going. I think they did it because I have to pee.
Sir, just what are we facing here?
Precious. Those who
power and tends to harness. There are 21 active skills for quarterstaves, so this just scratches the surface of the options that you have. By endgame, you'll be dashing from pack to pack, spewing where you find yourself at the start of POE 2. Explore the dark forests of Ogham, traverse the barren plains of the Vasteri Desert, and delve into the jungle ruins of Utsal, an ancient Val city. There are challenging monsters, hidden runes, lost camps and treasures, roaming merchants, and of course, unique bosses. No two areas are the same. It falls to you to track down the seed of corruption, the source of all this devastation. On the way, you'll face fearsome monsters, meet strange characters, forge unlikely bonds, and uncover lost civilizations. But first, you'll need to pick a class. Now, Early Access will initially have 6 classes available. Let's have a look at them. The Monk is a fast and furious melee fighter. He dashes in and out of combat, and his mechanics involve building up and keeping momentum. Like all classes in POE 2, you'll want to use a wide variety of skills to mix and match different combos. To get new skills, you will first need to find skill gems. Using a skill gem will open the gem cutting menu, which shows all the active skills
I've already seen
available
this
in POE
stuff
2.
though, generally.
You can choose an existing skill to level up, or choose to engrave a new one. Since this is a level 7 skill gem, even if you pick a new skill,
they
it
speed
will
it up?
immediately be level 7, so there's no harm in trying out something new. The monk primarily uses the quarterstaff. There are 3 schools of martial arts: lightning, ice, and wind. But don't think you have to stick to just one.
Nice, they're
Combos are going to involve mixing elements of all.
they're purposely showing him strong
Let's
enough
try
to
killing
kill
Palm.
shit in one hit,
Like many monk skills, this can be used to
so that
quickly take
calms down the
advantage of a
fears of how
specific
slow it's
situation.
gonna be.
If there's an enemy on low life, you
This
can
looks
use
much
killing Palm
faster.
to dash to them and kill them instantly. This will provide a power charge. Then we can use a different skill to consume that power charge for a much more devastating attack. The monk also has powerful combo skills. Tempest Bell, for example, is a skill that places a giant resonating bell. Hitting the bell causes it to ring, dealing damage to all enemies around it. You can also do things like freeze
And
or
now we're
shock
back
the
to
bell,
looking
which will
slow
add
as shit.
elemental damage to the strikes.
But the speed is in there.
The monk also has a variety of abilities to empower his staff. If an enemy is close to being stunned, you can use Staggering Palm to punch them down. After that, any attack you do will shoot out wind projectiles. There are 21 active skills for quarterstaves, so this just scratches the surface of the options that you have. By endgame, you'll be dashing from pack to pack, spewing projectiles and obliterating screens of enemies with huge combo attacks. Now, if you like a style of melee that's a little slower but hits much harder, then the warrior is for you.
Slower?
It pounds the ground with big chunky attacks and can shrug off the hits of small enemies with large amounts of armor. Even though the mace slams are slow, you never lose control. Longer attacks can be retargeted as you go, and if you find yourself committed to a long attack, you can dodge roll out of it at any time. Among the skill option for maces, you will find a variety of slams, fire attacks, war cries, and shield skills. Here, I'm going to slam the ground, rending it apart with lines of fire. Any slam skill will then cause these fissures to erupt with lava. I can even run through them with a skill like Stampede to do huge amounts of damage. The warrior can also use war cries, which can empower your next skill. Seismic Cry, for example, will double any slams from your next attack. The Stampede counts as a slam, so I can double that for even more craziness. If you want to go a little faster and be a little more defensive, equip a shield. In POE 2, you can raise your shield at any time to block all damage from the front, even spells. Holding up your
sick.
shield, your stun meter will build as you take damage, so be careful. If it reaches 100%, your stance will break and you will be vulnerable.
Yeah, I feel you. I don't mind it being like
enemies also have
having the
unblockable
option to play a
attacks
little
which are
slower.
indicated by this red flag.
I just want to have the option to
If you see
go
one of these
faster,
coming, make sure to dodge out of the
which
way.
I'm sure there will be. I'm a little
Using a
nervous,
shield
but
also gives
I'm
you
not
access
too
to
nervous.
shield skills like
I'm sure it'll
Charge,
play fast at the
which
end if you
allows
wanted to.
charge towards enemies and stun them. While charging, you're also blocking the whole time, so you have full damage immunity from the front. The warrior also has access to totems. Some totems have built-in abilities, like Shockwave Totem, which can be placed to stun nearby enemies and trigger aftershocks like those from the earthquake. But you can also get Ancestral Warrior Totems, which allow you to use any slam skill in your repertoire. This is a meta skill, which means that it's a skill
Yeah, they
you can
said
put
it's
other
going to
skills
be
into.
a good amount
I can take a
harder.
slam like Sunder and socket it into my Ancestral
I think
Warrior.
even Chris said once
Now when
he's
I
like
summon them,
kind of
I
like
sit there
Elden
and
Ring,
slam the monsters from a
and people are like,
distance.
whoa, 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 whoa. I don't know if we
20
need a game
active
like
skills
that.
for maces, so there's a lot more to try out. But by endgame, you're going to be dropping hammers from the sky, leaping fearlessly into combat, and separating the very earth you stand on. Time for some ranged attacks. The ranger is primarily about the bow, but we wanted to make sure that she feels agile as well.
Keep your souls out of my ARPGs.
Combined with all the skills the ranger has,
I love
to
Souls
jump
games.
around,
I don't
you'll
want
have a
that
lot
style
of
in my
ability
POE.
combat.
That's for sure.
Bow skills have a variety of lightning, poison, ice, and physical attacks.
Yeah,
Lightning
I mean,
attacks
I
bounce
love
around
Souls
between
games, but
targets.
I
You can
don't
also
play
stick lightning arrows
ARPGs
in
to
the
like
ground which explode when hit by the
run my
monsters,
face into a
or
boss
electrocute enemies to
15
take them out of
times in a
combat.
row.
Ice attacks allow you to slow and freeze enemies to keep them away from you.
God, the effects
Using
on the
poison
skills
not
are
only
so
can you
damn
slowly damage
good.
your enemies from afar, but also grow some interesting plants. With 21 bow skills and all the mobility and combo tools the ranger has, you can take advantage of every situation. By endgame, you'll be creating hundreds of arrows, be they falling from the sky, bouncing around between enemies, or spraying out of tornadoes. You might have noticed in the bottom left of the screen that the flask slots look a little different. In POE 2, you have
There's
one
two.
dedicated life flask slot and one mana flask slot. Flasks gain charges as you kill enemies, and typically allow you to heal 6 or 7 times if they're full. But that's not the only thing you can use charges for. Charms are a new item type that will automatically defend you from various debuffs or damage types. Having trouble with getting frozen? Equip a Thawing Charm. When it's fully charged, it will make you immune to freeze for 3 seconds if you get frozen. To recharge them,
Nice.
just kill more monsters.
Alright.
You can gain more slots for charms by upgrading your belt.
Alright, so it is like having
Mercenary
an always on
crossbow
flask.
can be loaded with different
Yeah, that's a
attributes,
ton
offering
bucket better than
versatility,
putting it on
power,
the
and
flask
mobility.
having to use it.
All classes in Path of Exile 2 can be controlled with WASD, which makes this class play exactly like a shooter. For the crossbow, you will find skills that work like shotguns, sniper rifles, assault rifles, and even grenade launchers. But not only that, there are a wide variety of more interesting elemental ammos too. It's very fast to switch
Less
between
pianoing.
as long as you already
Yeah,
have them
that's
loaded.
awesome. I wasn't sure how they were going to do it, but that's great. That's perfect. Instead of flask slots, you have charm slots, and they're automatic instead of having to fucking piano key it. That's a great idea.
Dealing massive AoE damage. If I come across an armored enemy, I could use armor-piercing rounds to break their armor, and then high-velocity rounds to take them down.
Ooh.
Or perhaps I could fire a gas grenade to poison enemies before detonating the cloud with an explosive shot for massive damage. If you want to call in some suppressing fire...
Yeah, I heard the WASD support feels super good.
These have a minimum range, so you'll want to prepare your position carefully before moving in.
A lot of people tried it on controller and they said it's super good.
There are 22 active skills for crossbows. By endgame, you'll be calling destruction down from the sky as you litter the battlefield with grenades and pepper your enemies with your automatic shotgun. If you're looking to take a backseat and let your minions do the work, then the Witch should be your choice. She can call forth hordes of undead monsters to fight for her, while casting powerful chaos spells that debilitate her enemies. Occult skills are some of the most varied in the game, with skeletons, noxious spells, specialty minions, curses, and sacrificial magic.
Show a cast on crit build.
Minions, we'll have to talk about a new resource in Path of Exile 2 called Spirit. This is a spirit gem, which allows you to pick from a range of persistent skills. All classes have a variety of these skills which can add some very interesting effects, like Arctic Armor, which does cold damage to enemies that hit you, or Raging Spirits, which summon fiery skulls each time you cast a fire spell. For the Witch,
oh, it's not its own skill now.
Our spirit to create permanent minions. These minions will be revived automatically when they die, so you don't have to worry about resummoning them all the time. Here, I'm using the skill screen to allocate which minions I would like in my horde. You can see the spirit cost of each one. Skeletal warriors are cheap, but weak, useful for tanking damage and distracting enemies. But I want more heavy hitters in my army, so I'm going to unsummon some warriors and instead add skeletal arsonists. Permanent minions come with special active abilities called command skills. You can order these guys to detonate your own minions for even more damage and area of effect. If you want a bigger army, you'll need a scepter. This new weapon type is imbued with even more spirit, allowing you to summon even more friends. And if you want an even bigger army than that, you can take advantage of corpses to summon true hordes of minions. But what can a witch do while her army is at work? Well, she has a range of chaos spells to spread disease amongst your enemies, or bone skills to impale them. Or, you know, you could curse them to make them weaker so your horde can take them down. There are 25 active occult skills. By the endgame, you'll be the leader of a fearsome army of the dead, consuming everything in its path. The sorceress bends the elements to her will, using them to unleash devastation on her foes.
I wonder if there's going to be items that'll increase spirit reservation efficiency. I really hope there is. That'll open up so many more like build
icy explosions,
variations.
lightning storms, you get the idea. Each spell is unique and has many different ways to build and combo with others.
I don't want it to be like, well, you get 2 auras, and these 2 are always the best on 80% of the builds.
Also empowers all projectiles that pass through it. If you place a wall and fire lightning sparks through it, they'll gain extra fire damage. It's a good idea to take advantage of the ability to automatically swap weapons when you use certain skills. Having a special staff with bonuses to fire skills and another with bonuses to lightning skills can really power up a combo like this. The sorceress can also take advantage of powerful trigger gems. For example, you could grab the Cast and Ignite gem and use it with Firestorm. As you ignite enemies, a counter will go up in the top left corner. When it's full, a Firestorm will automatically be cast to the enemy that was ignited. There are 25 active elemental skills. By endgame, you'll be firing off projectiles left and right as you rain down elemental storms on your foes.
He keeps bringing it back to how much you'll be able to clear because he knows we're worried.
We'll be adding 6 more character
That's
classes
funny.
with just as many skills and options as these.
Every 2 minutes he's
There's
like,
a lot more to
pretty
go.
soon you'll be wiping full
There's one more important
maps.
thing to mention about skills.
It'll be crazy. You'll kill everything so
Belong to each
quickly.
class. In reality, there are no restrictions. You can use all these skills on any class so long as you have the attributes. For example, a poison ranger might want to try out using occult curses to increase
EA is
poison
an explosive arrow?
damage. Or a monk might want to trigger elemental ice walls to use with his glacial cascade combo. The possibilities for cross-class combos are practically unlimited. We're looking forward to what kind of things you guys might find. Now, Path of Exile is a game known for build customization, and we haven't even scratched the surface of what is possible yet. So let's talk about support.
And by the way, you'll be killing so many things so quickly, I swear to God. Just starts talking like Trump. He's gonna be the quickest clear speed you've ever seen, tears in your eyes.
Then right-clicking it will open up this screen. Here you will find a variety of recommended support gems for each of your skills that you can pick between. For example, this is a multiple projectiles support gem and can be used to add multiple projectiles to any skill. Normally, when you fire a grenade, it'll look like this. But if we add multiple projectiles, then you get 3 of them. Once you have the gem, you can also freely move it between any of the skills on your character. If you want to have a multi-shot sniper rifle instead, then simply move the gem over to your high-velocity round skill. Generally speaking, if it sounds like a support gem should work with a skill, then it will work. So it's a good idea to experiment. Note that you can only have one of each support gem on your character, so you'll want to think carefully about which supports can be used best with each skill for maximum damage.
Jesus.
Now, if you want to stick to the recommendations,
that
you
is
should have a perfectly good
overwhelming.
time. But if you want to experiment a bit more, then uncheck that recommended button and you can see the full list of supports that will work with your skill. There are hundreds of support gems to choose from, and even we don't know the results of all the possible ways these can interact. Each skill can have up to 5 supports socketed into it, and if you're clever, you can come up with some pretty interesting ideas. Now, all of this is just scratching the surface. You can make frost vortexes, break people's armor, make minions explode, make skills repeat, make enemies set each other on fire, cull enemies, or pin them to the ground. Supports let you drastically change the behavior of your skills and create your own unique build, or at least follow someone's OP build guide. So, speaking of builds, let's talk about one of the most iconic Path of Exile systems, the passive skill tree.
Yeah, I think you all start the same basic
huge.
spot, right?
There are over 15.
Oh no, it looks like you.
Now,
There's
a lot of
different
people
starting
open
spots.
the tree and can get a little intimidated at first, but try not to be scared. There are lots of options, but at its core, it's pretty simple. Each level, you get 1 point to put into the tree. Each class starts at a different location, but they all share the same tree. Around your section of the
they
tree,
do start
you'll find
different
relevant
locations.
bonuses for your character. You should be safe in the knowledge that there aren't many wrong choices here. Almost all the starting nodes will be useful for your character in some way. But if you do happen to make a choice you regret, you'll be able to respec any nodes you've taken by spending a little bit of gold.
Good, we kept that.
Now, the tree is generally divided up into clusters which have similar themes.
Having
In each
respec
cluster,
tied to
you'll
orbs
find
was just
small nodes
stupid.
that give simple bonuses
They
like
should have
increased
changed that
damage,
even sooner.
but the real power comes from notables. Notables normally have much more interesting bonuses, and they tend to care a lot more about how your build works and what skills you're using. For example, in the mercenary area of the tree, this one gives a 25% chance for crossbow skills to not consume a bolt. And here's one that gives grenades a chance to blow up a second time. This one gives a chance for projectiles to rebound off terrain, as well as giving you some pierce chance to make that more likely. Note that even though this is in the mercenary section, this would work with projectiles from all classes, so there are often reasons to go to different areas of the tree. In order to get between these clusters, you will generally have to allocate nodes in the attribute highways. Attribute nodes allow you to pick which attribute you would like to use, so it's very easy to get points for any attribute that your gear might need. You can change which attribute these nodes give you for half price at the respec vendor. In addition to notables, you will also find even larger passives called keystones.
Gas
Keystones
inoculation.
have both an upside and a downside, and often require changing your entire build to design around them. A great example is Giant's Blood, which allows you to wield 2-hand weapons in a single hand, but doubles the attribute requirements of them. You can use a 2-hand mace with a shield, or even dual wield them.
Wait, what was the requirement on that?
Or how about Mind Over Matter, which makes all damage go to your mana pool first before your life pool, but you lose 50% of your mana regen. Skills like these can be tough to build around, but if you're up for the challenge, they can be very rewarding.
Oh, that's not 40%
As we
anymore.
showed you
Oh, but it's got
earlier
crit
on
bonus on
Sorceress,
it.
You can swap between weapon sets on the fly
Interesting.
as you use certain skills. One of the new features in Path of Exile 2's passive tree is that you can choose to have your
Yeah, you
passive
can have
tree
different
change
sets
as you
of trees.
switch between weapon sets to take advantage of specific bonuses on the tree. For the Sorceress, you might want to change between fire and lightning specialization. Or you could switch between one-hand and a two-hand setup in order to be able to block
that's so
boss
dope.
attacks while
That's so
following up with heavy
dope.
hits from your bigger mace.
I don't know how
Or
useful
perhaps
it'll
you
be.
could have a full curse set up on your witch to debuff enemies before switching to a chaos degen build for maximum damage.
Okay, okay. Now I could see
If you want to stick with
a
just
little bit
one
more of
weapon
why
set,
useful.
you can just use these specialization points as bonus points to invest however you like.
You
But
could be your own
creative players
curse
will find
bot.
plenty of
That's dope.
opportunities with this system.
Be your own buff bot.
You can get weapon specialization points throughout the campaign from optional bosses and quests. For example, if I manage to defeat the Crowbell, I'll get a weapon specialization book. There are lots of other permanent boosts available from the campaign too. On the map, you can see icons that indicate the many optional encounters you can find. Some of them have permanent
Oh, you
character
can just
boosts,
get extra
and others have
spirit.
powerful items. If you're having trouble getting past a boss, it might be a good idea to explore and see what you can find. For example, if you defeat Blackjaw the Remnant, you'll gain a permanent increase to fire resistance. One of the most important finds are spirit bonuses. You can find the first one here in the canopy in Act 1. Defeat the boss in this area to acquire a permanent addition of spirit. The permanent buffs you gain from spirit are very powerful, and every class will find a use for them, so make sure you hunt down these upgrades. There's one in each act. Now, we haven't even talked about the most important element of character progression.
Oh, this is looking so
That's
good.
right?
I'm so excited.
Items in Path of Exile can be broken down into 4 rarity groups: normal, magic, rare, and unique. One of the things you're going to want to do as you play through the campaign is upgrade the items you find, and you can do that with currency items. An Orb of Transmutation will allow you to upgrade a normal item to a magic item with 1 mod. You can then apply an Orb of Augmentation to add a second mod, then use a Regal Orb to add a third mod, and upgrade it to a rare.
Alright, so that's
Finally,
staying the
you
same.
can use some Exalted Orbs to add more mods to your rare to a total of 6 mods. One of the things we think is really important is to make these options available to use as you play. All the items that add mods are much more common than they were in Path of Exile 1, so that you can use them throughout your campaign playthrough.
Really?
We want you to find things on the ground that can be crafted into upgrades much more frequently. As well as making the drop rates on these items much more common, you can also get them by disenchanting unwanted gear at the magic item vendor. If you disenchant magic items, you can build up to an Orb of Transmutation, and by disenchanting rares, you can build up to Regal Orbs. Another important area of crafting items in PoE 2 is sockets. Some items you find will have sockets that can have Ezomite runes placed in them that add more mods to the item. If I insert this glacial rune into my helmet, it will give extra cold resistance.
They're
This
putting
is a
in
great way to
runes.
solve problems that you have with your build, like resistances or damage. If you find socketed items that you don't have a use for, you can take them to the salvage bench in town to work towards an Artificer's Orb. This will allow you to add sockets to your existing items. Body armors and 2-hand weapons can have up to 2 sockets, while the rest of your armor and 1-hand weapons can only have 1 socket. You can also salvage items with quality to create items like armor scraps or whetstones. These will allow you to increase the quality of your items for an up to 20% boost. If you don't want to disenchant or salvage your items, you can always sell them for gold. Gold can be used to buy items from vendors, and we've tried to do a lot to make sure that the items they have for sale are actually useful. Every time you
They
level
won't
up,
be.
they get more stock, so make sure to check back often. Other vendors offer a gamble. Pay a flat amount of gold and you'll get a random item of a specific type. This could be a great way to improve your gear, if you're lucky. Gold is also used to respec your passive skills. Take advantage of this system to experiment with your tree and rework it as required.
Yeah, you said that.
The other thing you might want to use gold for is the currency exchange. This allows you to exchange
Yes.
currency items with other
Thank
players
you.
on
I
an
knew
open market.
we knew we'd get
In
it,
exchange
but
for a
thank God.
small gold fee.
Just that they confirmed.
Now, all items in Path of Exile are freely tradable. We never bind anything to your character, except gold. Now, most gear in Path of Exile 2 is randomly
No
generated,
item binding,
but there's
fuck
another
yeah.
type that isn't. Uniques. They are especially rare, each with a handcrafted set of unusual mods which can dramatically change a character's build. They're not just better rare items, they can do much stranger things that can fundamentally change your character. Corpse Wade will make any corpses you run through explode into clouds of poison. The Sands of Silk is a body armor that changes your dodge roll into a blink, morphing you
Oh,
into sand as you
sick.
teleport past your foes.
Oh, it's a terrible armor
And
though.
of course, some uniques are just pure hits of dopamine, like Quill Rain,
Quill
which
Rain's
just turns your
back.
bow attacks into full auto by doubling your attack speed. Each unique is something that you can build your character around. We try to make sure that most unique items have a potential use at endgame, even if you find them early on. And as you can see, every single unique item comes with custom art to match. The last character progression system that you can do during the campaign
Oh,
is
man.
Ascension.
How are they doing
Starting in Act 2, you will
ascendancies?
come across Ascension trials. Tests that you
Trials.
must complete to unlock your Ascension class. We'll explain these trials soon, but first let's take a look at what Ascending can do for your character. Each class has access to 3 Ascendancy classes.
They did announce
At the start of
another
early
announcement.
access, only 2 per class will be available. Ascendancy classes are unique to each character class, so choose wisely. They can drastically affect how you build your character. As a sorceress, you
12
could become a
ascendancies,
Storm
that's-
Weaver,
that's not bad.
a master of the elements. Tempest Caller causes elemental storms to be summoned each time you do a critical hit with a spell. With Strike twice, you can stack 2 copies of Shock for more damage, and going deeper into the tree, you can make all your damage types apply Shock. Make a Shock build from any skill. Alternatively, you could become a Chronomancer and command time itself. She literally has the ability to stop time with Time Freeze. Not only that, but she has many other time manipulation abilities. Using
Sick.
Temporal Rift, she can teleport back to a previous location.
That's gonna be
resetting her
useless
life and mana
endgame,
back to what it
but
was.
sick.
Or with Time Snap, she can reset all her cooldowns and cast all her spells again. On the Warrior, you can choose between the Warbringer or the Titan. The Warbringer channels the might of his ancestors to gain tremendous power. Using Answer
really?
Call, you can summon ancestral spirits linked to each of your tokens. With Jade Heritage, you can encase your body in a protective
Put that
layer that
Chronomancer
deals
back
more
in the
damage
cage.
until it breaks.
Who let her out?
Warcaller's Bellow allows you to explode the corpses of your enemies. And with Great Wolf's Howl, you can ignore the cooldowns of your war cries. Let all that anger out.
That's sick.
The Titan class is all about hitting big. With Earthbreaker, every slam is a chance to create an aftershock. With Crushing Impacts, every hit becomes a crushing blow, which will allow you to stun your enemies with ease. With Surprising Strength, you can take advantage of stunned enemies to deal 40% more damage. As a ranger, you might choose to be a Deadeye, an expert markswoman who can take down foes with style. With Endless Munitions, every attack gains an extra projectile.
So it's just
With Gathering Winds, she gains a small increase to
So
movement
it's
speed
just-
with every
it's just
attack.
Deadeye
But be careful,
from
she
POE
loses
1.
them when getting hit. With Eagle Eyes, she will never miss, allowing you to stop wasting all those passive points on accuracy.
that one might be new.
Alternatively, you could become a Pathfinder, the master of flasks and
Okay,
poison.
yeah, so they just kept the ranger
She
practically
can
the same.
choose from one of several throwable concoctions, allowing her to spend her flask charges to throw explosive bottles that deal various types of damage. A bleeding concoction will make your enemies bleed, while a fulminating one can shock your enemies, allowing you to do extra damage. Contagious Contamination allows her to spread poisons between her foes, while Overwhelming Toxicity doubles the number of stacks they can be infected by.
Alright, those two will be
Running Assault
useful. The
allows her
first
to move
3,
much
I
more
highly
quickly while
doubt it.
firing, while Relentless Pursuit makes her totally immune to being slowed by enemies. The Witch can ascend into the Infernalist or the Blood Mage. As an Infernalist, she can summon a loyal Hellhound companion. The Hellhound sets enemies on fire, as well as taking a percentage
Show
of the
him.
damage if
Oh,
the
he's right there.
Infernalist gets hit.
Make him bigger.
With Pyromantic Pact, you can turn your mana into Infernal Flame. As you cast more spells, the flame builds up, and if it overflows, you'll take damage. Using Bringer of Flame, you'll want to make sure you keep the flames topped up. While your Infernal Flame is above 30%, all damage from you and your minions will ignite enemies. She can also transform into a literal demon. While in demon form, she takes an increasing amount of damage, but her cast speed and damage increase rapidly as well. So if you're planning on transforming into a demon, make sure you stack a lot of life.
It was like Vampire Survivors, or a similar
She can
game.
also become a Blood Mage, a master of life and
Death
energy.
must die.
All Blood Mages must pay the price of making skills cost life as well as mana. But in exchange, every monster they kill will drop life remnants, which
So
allow
they get
them to
blood
quickly
magic.
gain back that life. With Crimson Power, she can gain large amounts of extra life, and with Vitality Siphon, she can use her spells to leech life back as well.
Nice.
Once you've got a significant amount of life, you can use Gore Spike to make your critical hits deal incredible amounts of damage. A monk who is in tune with the elements might become an Invoker. With Elemental Expression, the Invoker will create waves of elemental power each time he does a critical strike. With Faith as a choice, you gain the ability to meditate, allowing you to double your energy shield. Choose between I am the Blizzard or I am the Thunder to specialize in cold or lightning. And I Shall Rage will allow you to turn into an unbound avatar. Each time you apply a status ailment to an enemy, you gain Unbound Fury. When you have enough, transform into an avatar to deal way more damage and inflict even more elemental ailments. Some monks choose to reach into the darkness instead. The Acolyte of Chayula can exchange their mastery of spirit for darkness, a resource that can be utilized to both absorb and deal damage. The Shroud of Darkness will protect you from all damage incoming, but if you take Grasp of the Void, you will deal extra chaos damage from all the darkness you have. Their Dark Pact offers greatly increased resistances to chaos damage and can allow their mana leech to not only happen instantly, but apply to their energy shield as well.
Oh,
Another
damn.
node you can take is Waking Dream, which allows you to see into the domain of the Breach Demons. There you will see the Flames of Chayula that can be taken to gain life, mana, and damage. The Mercenary has a
very
job to
confusing.
do, but which job suits you? You might choose to become a Witch Hunter.
There's gonna be so many
Obsessive
mercenaries.
Rituals will give you a sorcery ward, allowing you to defend yourself against elemental hits in exchange for less defense against attacks. With Zealous Inquisition, your enemies have a 10% chance to explode on death. The chance is doubled against demons and undead. With
Nice,
Judge,
so they
Jury,
get the
and
explode
Execution,
passive.
Your initial hit against enemies can deal up to 30% of their life and damage, if you're lucky. This is great for hunting powerful bosses. And with Witchbane, you
Really?
can break your enemy's concentration, preventing them from casting spells as often as they would usually do.
Yeah, Monk's looking
Also
better
choose
and
to
better
become a
every time I
Gemling
see her.
Legionnaire,
I don't think
enhancing
I'll
your
play that
abilities by
first,
embedding
but
gems directly in your flesh. Integrated Efficiency will give you extra skill slots. Thermatological Infusion gives you extra maximum resistances as you sock up more and more support gems. Adaptive Capability allows you to use any color of gem without worrying about attributes, while Crystalline Potential adds extra quality bonuses to
Holy
every gem
shit.
socketed into your character.
Wait, go back to that one. That one super
So those
strong.
are the Ascendancy classes for the start of early access. But one thing we haven't talked about yet is how you ascend in the first place. Ascension in Path of Exile 2 requires completion of one of the Great Trials, which you'll find as you progress through the campaign. Each one is associated with
They
one of
kept
the
it the
major
same,
cultures of
didn't they?
Rayclast. Located in the Vasteri Plains are the Maraketh, a culture of rich tales and brutal traditions, who must do whatever it takes to survive in the
Yo,
desert.
check on that guy. He doesn't look
The
okay.
highest position in Maraketh culture is a Sekima, and it is not a title given freely. All aspirants must complete the Trial of the Sekimas, a grueling gauntlet that will test their strength,
Just show the
will,
fucking
courage, and
traps.
patience.
Just do it.
To enter, a warrior of the Maraketh must prove their worth by trapping the soul of a djinn in a coin, and you are no different. Once you have earned your coin, it may be placed on the relic altar to begin the trial.
Sanctum? They're making Sanctum the trials? What?
In the Trial of the Sekimas, each room has
Does that
its
mean
own
there's no more
challenges to
Sanctum?
overcome. In this
Oh
room, each rare
no,
monster
they got
you
rid
kill
of
will send its
Sanctum.
blood to the chalice in the center of the room. Once the chalice is filled, you will be able to proceed. While fighting monsters in the trial, you will need to be very careful. Each hit will not only hurt you, but will damage your honor. The monsters are well telegraphed, so that you can avoid their attacks, but if you run out of honor, you will fail the trial and need to find another coin in order to try
Yeah,
again.
so they just made
It is a
Sanctum
good idea
trials.
to make sure that you are well prepared before challenging the Trial of the
I had
Sekimas.
mixed feelings about them. Basically saying there won't be any Sanctum because we made
After each room,
Sanctum
you will
the
be
trials.
rewarded. In this case, you have been given a key that can be used to unlock
Well, at
chests
least I'll be
stated
really
in the
fucking
trial.
good at the trials.
Once you have claimed your reward, you will be shown a map of the rest of the floor and may choose how you wish to proceed.
Yeah, it's
Which
Sanctum.
challenges would you like to face, and which rewards do you want to claim? Some rooms are more dangerous, afflicting you with debuffs that will persist for the entire trial. For example, entering this room will afflict you with Spiked Shell that will cause all monsters in the
They
rest
even
of the
kept the
trial to
exact
have
same
50%
buff
increased
names,
life.
debuff names.
You will want to take care if you choose such a path. There are many different challenges and rewards as you journey through the trial. Deadly traps, waves of monsters, and strange artifacts will test your honor. As you progress, you'll be able to gain boons from the Jinn, which will help you on your journey. For example, the Sekima's cloak will revive you once if you die, giving you a second shot at a run. One of the rewards you may find is Sacred Water, an extremely valuable and treasured resource to the Jinn and the Maraketh. Trading it with the Jinn will allow you to receive many benefits. You can recover honor, gain additional boons, or remove afflictions.
All I did was change the names
At
of
the end of
a
the
couple
floor,
things.
You'll find a powerful boss which will truly test your limitations. In order to ascend, you will need to defeat him. Having defeated the boss, you've earned the right to ascend. But first, the loot. The keys you have found may be used to open the various treasures in the vault at the end of the floor. We only have a single bronze key, so we'll just have to open one of these small chests. If you want to open the better ones, you'll need silver or gold keys. Let's use the Altar of Ascendancy. Your first ascension will allow you to pick your class and grant you 2 points to use in the tree. Now there are more floors and many more rewards that can be found within the Trial of the Sekimas, but we'll save that for the section on the endgame. For now, let's talk about the second Ascendancy trial.
Oh, maybe they are keeping Sanctum.
In Path of Exile 2, you can
Maybe there's
choose
an
whichever
endgame version.
trial you like to earn your ascension. Each culture on Rayclast had their own methods to ascend. If the Trial of the Sekimas is not your kind of playstyle, or you're finding it too difficult, you could try another. You can gain all your ascension points from just one, or mix and match them. It's up to you. For early access, we will have 2 trials as options, with a 3rd trial coming later for the full release.
Is the second one going to be the traps?
In the Vaal jungle, you'll discover the Temple of Chaos. Before the Vaal embraced the science of corruption, their civilization worshipped chaos. This ancient trial was once used by the Vaal to test their high priests. A high priest of the Vaal must show willingness to risk everything to gain power. Entry to the trial requires a token from a strange entity known only as the Trial Master. For those in which he sees potential, he shall inscribe an ultimatum. Many have attempted these trials in search of greatness. Most have perished. Will you be able to defy the odds? Before you begin each chamber, the Trial Master will offer you a reward and a choice. Choose one of 3 tribulations to affect you through the rest of the trial. These modifiers might beef up the monsters,
Oh, it's
curse the
ultimatum.
player, or
Alright.
add environmental hazards like turrets or trap runes.
I guess I should have seen
In
that
this
coming
case,
from the
we'll be
temple
picking shocking
thing.
turrets. As you enter the room, the Trial Master will fill it with hazards to test your commitment. In this case, you must destroy all the monsters that fill the room, while dealing with the lightning projectiles from the shocking turrets. After each room, you will need to make a choice.
Just try to
Take the
show off
rewards
that
you've earned so
elevator.
far, or go
Yo, check
double
out
or
this
nothing.
elevator.
Increase your rewards, but take on more risk. Each tribulation you add is minor on its own, but they quickly stack on top of each other and can become overwhelming. There are many types of chambers in the trial. Each will test your resolve in different ways. This one simply requires you survive for a certain amount of time. Another requires you to escort the stone idol through the level as elevators full of monsters descend to attack you. Should you be able to get through the first 3
Oh, that's a
chambers,
dope-looking
you will face
boss.
your first boss. The order of the bosses is random, and combined with the tribulations you have selected, the fight will never feel the same. After defeating the boss, you may claim your rewards. Of course, there are the items, but you also gain the right to ascend. If you already did the trial,
Alright, so it's incursion and ultimatum
points to add to your ascendancy class.
mixed into one.
Now it's possible to
Kinda
go
cool.
much deeper. There are more bosses, rewards, and risks to take, but we'll talk more about that when we get to endgame. So how about we talk about that now? So far, we've only been showing you footage from the campaign, but some people would argue that the endgame...
You're a stronger man than me, man. I'm gonna go
Something
all
that
in on
happens
POE
almost
2
every time a
immediately.
new action RPG launches is people saying, there isn't enough in-game content. Well, we want to make sure that in POE 2, people don't feel that way. And we actually only changed our development priority for this recently. The first 3 acts of POE 2 already take around 25 hours to complete if you're a new player. This is
Oh,
already a pretty
no.
significant campaign. On the other hand, people spend hundreds of hours in in-game each league.
You're gonna give us
We
endgame
realized
though,
that
right?
finishing the rest of the campaign for early access was actually a bad idea.
So it's gonna go from Act 3 to
Instead of
endgame,
four to
right?
6 in early access, we could concentrate on in-game and make that great. For new players, a 25-hour campaign is already a huge game with lots of content. But for existing action RPG players, what you mostly care about is all the in-game challenges to overcome. So several months ago, we switched the entire development team's focus over to making in-game content. At the start of early access, there will be 50 bosses and around 400 monster types. But the great thing is that the rest of the game is like 80% there. We'll be adding content to roughly double the size of the game during early access and into release. Now, in order to make the endgame happen at the same character level as what it would be after we added the rest of the acts, we've added a second difficulty level called Crawl, where you repeat. It's also a lot
Or
faster to get through the content.
like you guys used to do it, and the way Diablo does
That will
it.
take you
And
to around level 65, where the endgame begins. Once we add the remaining 3 acts, we'll be removing cruel difficulty, so you'll progress straight from the end of Act 6 to endgame. But what is the endgame? To explain that, I'll hand over to Mark. He can tell you all about it.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile 2. Well, one thing that Path of Exile is known for is having a lot of distinct endgame content to choose between. Each endgame mechanic needs to have its own progression system, areas, bosses, rewards, and player power that can only be gained from that content. We are going to be adding a lot more over time, but for Path of Exile 2 we decided to start with 7 distinct systems you can progress through. This is the Atlas, and it serves as the core of the endgame for Path of Exile 2. It's infinite and expands in all directions.
A little
now,
busy.
We're not going to spoil the plot too much here, but corruption from the beast has blighted the land, and your objective is to help fight it. In the center of the Atlas you will find the Ziggurat, a temple in which the Val research the fundamentals of space and time. Here we can open portals to nearby locations and begin cleansing corruption and finding resources. In order to power the portal device, we will need waystones. Each waystone has a tier which will determine the level of the monsters that you will face.
So they're not called maps anymore, they're
simply
just called
click one that is
waystones?
adjacent to an area that you have already completed.
Oh,
Insert
we
the
get to
waystone
pick
and
the
click
map.
Traverse. Portals will open, allowing you and your party to travel to the area you have selected. All the areas in the endgame feel distinct from the locations in the campaign, and we have dialed
Let's
the
fucking
randomization
go.
up to 11.
That was
The monster
sick.
packs you will
That's
face
what I'm
in each
talking
map are
about.
totally random, and the
That's what I'm
combination
fucking
of
talking
them lead
about.
to some very interesting
Show some more
combat
shit like that.
situations. There are over 400 monster types in early access, and they have a lot of varied and interesting abilities. Depending on which combinations you face, you might find some serious
Yeah, we get it.
challenges.
Big guy go slam,
In order
real
to
slow.
cleanse the corruption
Show that
from the
cool shit
area,
again.
You will need to defeat all the powerful rare and
I mean,
unique
that's pretty
enemies
cool
in it.
too.
Once you have done that, the area will be marked as completed and you will be able to travel past it to progress deeper into the world. If you die, then the map can no longer be run, and you will have to find
100%.
another way around to get to the areas behind it. There are also all kinds of other random encounters you might run into as you play maps. One such encounter are precursor artifacts. These are ancient, corrupting monuments that irradiate the monsters around them. The monsters that feed off the corruption are drawn to their power. If you defeat the monsters,
It's a very dramatic
sequence
way
the
to explain
artifact, you will get
shrines.
a powerful temporary buff. Some of the buffs make you faster, others rain lightning or fire around you, and some even give you increased experience or help you find better items. You can also find strong boxes. These enigmatic chests guard piles of treasure, but are always a trap.
Someone's like, how do we describe shrines? And they grab the thesaurus and he goes, I fucking got this.
Mechanisms to unleash powerful spells or dangerous debuffs. There are different types of strong boxes containing different items, and you can even use your currency items to craft them on the fly, so you can
Strong
optimize
boxes.
the contents. But be careful of opening one you can't handle. Sometimes you'll discover monsters frozen in essences, solidified crystalline corruption.
Essences of
These
that?
dangerous monsters can be broken free. If you defeat them, the essence they drop can be used to upgrade normal items to magic items with a guaranteed mod from a category. For example, we could use this one on some boots to ensure...
Please
a
show
boot
an
is
Atlas tree. Please show an Atlas tree. For the love of God. I'm so scared there won't be an
Essences
Atlas
will
tree.
also drop that allow you to upgrade magics to rares, adding the guaranteed mod.
Where's the mini-map?
This is incredibly powerful, since it allows you to get a second deterministic mod in your crafting projects. Combining these with the currencies that are commonly found at Rayclast for modifying items, and we can get a very nice pair of boots indeed. Waystones, like all items, can also be crafted using your currency items. Adding prefix mods will improve the
Just
rewards,
call them
while
maps.
suffix
Why you
mods increase
gotta do that?
the more dangerous a map is, the more waystones will drop.
Oh.
Adding mods to your waystones is key to progressing to higher tiers and sustaining them. but it will require you to take on larger challenges.
Oh, it doesn't increase quantity
There are a variety of
or
factors you
rarity
have to consider
anymore.
when crafting your waystones.
That's
Some maps
interesting.
will have higher density, some lower, some have more magic and rare chests, or monsters, some are more linear, and others more open. Make sure you explore and think about what makes certain maps good if you want to maximize your returns. As you cleanse corruption from higher and higher tiers of the Atlas, you will gain points that you can spend in the Atlas tree. This tree allows you to juice the danger and rewards of all areas
Yes!
of the endgame.
Thank God.
Increase the number of monsters,
Thank you.
the number of rares, the number of precursor artifacts or strong
Let's
boxes,
fucking go.
and the quantity of item drops. As you explore the in-game world map, you'll notice various different biomes, from snow-capped mountains to dense jungle valleys. Most maps are restricted to certain biomes. As you continue to explore deeper into the Atlas, there are all sorts of things to discover. These cities are constructed by different peoples of Rayclast and have specific items that can be found there. These strange structures marked on the map don't appear to do anything for now. Perhaps you'll work out how to use them later. You might find unique maps like Untainted Paradise, an undisturbed island full of beasts that give an extreme amount of experience. You may even find a lonely man just enjoying his retirement.
Nameless Seer?
Will give you a unique item for free.
Yep.
In addition, you can find special areas that would make a good spot to set up camp. Clear these areas of their hostile inhabitants, and you'll be able to
Hideout.
claim them as your own hideout.
Yes.
You can decorate your hideout as you
I mean,
see
obviously
fit
they were
and
gonna have
invite various
hideouts.
NPCs to join you there to create your own personal base of operations. A great tool for exploration are towers. These mysterious precursor constructs are dotted around the Atlas. Completing the tower will reveal a large area around it, allowing you to scout out your next challenge. There are lots
So,
of things to find, so
they
keep looking.
kind of took that from Last
Some
Epoch.
sections of your
They
Atlas
definitely
are
got that
influenced
idea
by
from them.
corruption. This adds extra modifiers to the maps in the region, increasing difficulty and rewards. Here, slaying monsters in close proximity to each other will cause the vestiges of corruption within them
Beyond.
to merge together, forming powerful and grotesque abominations. You may have noticed while looking at
Delirium.
the Atlas
I
that
see
some
Delirium
of the
icon.
areas have these icons above them. The
Ritual?
icon indicates that the area contains
Expedition?
some kind of special encounter.
Breach?
This icon
They put it all in
indicates that
there.
The area has a powerful boss. Because only 1 in 4 maps contain a map boss, we are able to make them very powerful and very rewarding. These bosses come from the campaign, but have had their difficulty increased with changes to AI and some of their abilities.
God, this game's gonna be
It's
so
worth noting
fucking
that
good.
Because you can see where the bosses are, you can choose to take them on or avoid them. If you do choose to hunt bosses though, then you will be rewarded with special points for the boss hunting section of the Atlas skill tree.
Pantheon?
The points here will allow you to specialize in boss killing, giving you much greater rewards for defeating them. For each different
Oh,
type of content in the
not
endgame, we are
Pantheon,
adding
kinda
specialized
Pantheon.
trees in order to make it so you don't feel the need to
There it
respec your
is.
points when you change between different types of content. We will be showing you 7 of these by the end of this presentation, so there is still a lot more to come. Bosses are not the
Tradition.
only icon you will see on the Atlas. Let's take a look at one of the in-game systems, Breach.
Breach Ritual.
If you played POE 1, you might be familiar with Breach. For POE 2, we have created sequels to several POE 1 leagues. While the mechanic is familiar, the monsters, bosses, rewards, and progression are all new. A breach is a tear in the fabric of reality. Opening it will allow you to see the demons and otherworldly monstrosities that lie in wait on this other plane of existence. By engaging with a breach, you'll create a bridge between their world and Rayclast. In order to keep the breach open, you will need to kill the demons that pour forth. The faster you can kill the monsters, the more monsters you will fight, and the more loot you will find. You can also find clasped hands that will open and drop more items if you run over them. These can be a good boost to the rewards of the breach, so keep an eye out. One of the rewards that you may find while fighting monsters from Breach are tablets. Tablets are special items that can be used with precursor towers to add more encounters to the Atlas. Breaches will drop breach tablets. Clicking on a completed tower will allow you to consume the tablet to add more breaches to areas within range of the tower. This makes all the content in the Atlas self-sustaining. Want to do more breaches? Find the tablets, add them to your towers, get more breaches, getting more tablets. Soon your Atlas will be covered in otherworldly domains. In addition, like all items in PoE, you can craft them. Use your currency to add mods to your tablets, allowing
That's gonna
you to
take some
upgrade
getting
all
used
the
to.
breaches in range. Tablets can have up to 2 mods. These mods do things like adding extra rare monsters, extra clasped hands, or even monster density of breaches, allowing you to keep them open longer. Often, you will find multiple towers near to each other with overlapping areas of effect. This can allow you to really juice the mechanic by stacking the mods from multiple tablets. In your fight to hold the breach demons at bay, you may want to use the powers of their world.
So you can use map
Each
mods to
in-game
directly
mechanic always
influence
has
the
player power
mechanic.
that can
That's kind of
only be
cool.
gained from that mechanic.
Also very
Breach is no
complicated.
different.
People
In
are gonna
Breach,
get hella
you'll find
confused by that.
catalysts, items that can increase the quality of rings and amulets by improving specific mobs. You can also find breach rings, a special base type that can have its quality improved by catalysts up to 50%. In this case, you could create a ring with around 170 life.
It's not just
rings
breach
have
only
become
anymore.
Some of the strongest rings in the game, giving you some good motivation to face the demon.
Wow,
rogues.
they aren't just
In addition,
breach only
each
anymore.
in-game mechanic needs to have a pinnacle in-game encounter. While killing breach monsters, you may find breach splinters. Collect enough of these and you'll be able to create a breach stone. Using
Alright, so
a
that's
Vaal
unchanged.
technology called the Realm Gate, you can use your breachstone to access their domain and bring the fight to them. In this twisted domain, you will find nothing but a single massive breach. Triggering it will reveal hordes of breach inhabitants.
Yeah, so that's... breach stones are the same. Show us ritual. Oh, he did the teleport thing.
You will be able to find
But he only did it
Zed.
once and then it looks like he couldn't do it again for a while. Damn. I guess you just gotta figure out how to get your cooldown lower. Bro, I hate to tell you, but it doesn't look like you're doing any damage.
This is just one of the pinnacle encounters of POE 2. We won't be showing the rest of them, so you'll
Oh, it's
have
a
to
pinnacle
discover
boss.
them for yourself. But rest assured, this is some of the hardest content we have ever made. All of these encounters have specific uniques that can only be found from them, but that's not all. We still have the progression system. Defeating Zesht will give you points to allocate into the breach section of the Atlas tree. Allocating these points will make breaches and the breach domain even harder, but will give you more
Oh,
rewards.
you get the points by
small nodes will increase the
doing the
difficulty of the
mechanic.
twisted domain, while the large nodes have more specific bonuses. For example, this node adds more clasped hands to your breaches, and adds a pack of magic monsters that can guard them. Get some more points and you can allocate Waking Nightmare, which will double the number of splinters you get from clasped hands, and inflict you with a mysterious debuff. In order to earn more points, you will need to defeat Zesht at a higher difficulty, and some rewards from Zesht can only be found by increasing the difficulty of the Twisted Domain above certain thresholds. Defeating Zesht at difficulty 4 will be a challenge indeed, but there are many more threats in Rayclast. Ritual altars
Yeah, let's see
are
Ritual.
sacrificial sites.
Be
built
better
by the
this time.
mysterious King in the Mists. If you encounter this symbol on the Atlas, then you know that the area contains ritual altars. Ritual altars demand tribute. Every monster you slaughter in the circle will feed the altar. After the sacrifice, touch it to begin the ritual. The monsters you just killed will be resurrected by the King of the Mist's dark magic, and you must fight to survive. The tribute you have offered to the altar can be spent to buy powerful items, but they can be expensive. To gain
Alright,
more
so it looks
tribute,
exactly
you
the
will
same.
want to find more altars. Each successive ritual you do within an area will spawn the monsters revived by the previous ones, in addition to the ones you sacrifice next to it. By the end of an area, you'll be fighting a truly imposing number of foes, but will have a significant amount of tribute to spend. One of the rewards you can buy with tribute are omens. These are special items that allow for metacrafting. Crafting items that affect other crafting items. Have an item with good prefixes but bad suffixes? This omen will help you to remove the mod you don't want, while keeping the ones you do. There are a bunch more of these with different effects, but we will leave them for you to discover. Now don't forget that Ritual will also drop tablets, which can be used to specialize into getting more rituals. If you want to get to the pinnacle boss of Ritual, then you will probably want to use them. They can also be crafted to grant mods, making your rituals more rewarding. The pinnacle encounter of Ritual is the King in the Mists. Feared by the Asmeri people, he is said to have brought eternal darkness to the Wildwood. We won't show the encounter, but just like Breach, there are a range of unique items you can get for defeating him, and you will gain points in the ritual section of the Atlas tree. Some maps have been touched by insanity. A mysterious entity has taken a special interest in you. Step through the looking glass and you will find your nightmares coming to life. When you touch a mirror, the mists of delirium will spread out across the area, infecting your mind. You must stay within the mist to maintain the nightmare, which is as profitable as it is terrifying. Everything you kill will increase the rewards that drop. However, the deeper into the mist you travel, the stronger the monsters are. Be careful not to
I didn't see
overstay
anything
your
going cooldown after he did that thing. I think he's just choosing not to mash it.
terrifying demons who will manifest out of them to unleash powerful attacks on you. The mist also offers a strange crafting material, distilled emotions. By combining these emotions, you are able to instill your amulet.
I mean, that
with
might
a
have just been
notable from the
Flicker
passive
Strike.
skill tree. This is like gaining an extra passive point for free, attached to your gear. They are also particularly great because you don't have to traverse the tree to get them, allowing you to get off-class bonuses that would normally be much harder to get. Distilled emotions can also be used to instill your in-game
Yeah,
moves,
some things have
applying
definitely gotten
delirious to them,
simpler.
and
Some
adding
things might
additional
have
difficulty and rewards,
some things might have gotten a little
allowing
more
you to further
complicated.
juice your in-game maps. The tablets you can find from Delirium can be used to further improve it, increase pack size, make the fog dissipate slower, or improve your progress towards the pinnacle encounter of Delirium. Speaking of which, every now and then you will find simulacrum splinters. The mysterious entity will create strange encounters based on warped versions of your own memories. Monsters and simulacrums come in waves that get progressively more difficult. You will receive loot at the end of each wave, and you will have to make the decision to leave now or continue on, facing up against even tougher foes from the mist. The bosses you will face as you get deeper into a simulacrum are truly terrifying. If you can complete a simulacrum, you will gain points for the Delirium section of the Atlas skill tree. Next up, we have Expedition. Occasionally, while
Tujin.
clearing corruption, you will encounter these Kalguran settlers. The Kalgurans have discovered ancient burial sites.
So what
with
isn't
lost
in here?
Verisium
I didn't see any
artifacts,
heist
and they want you
icons.
to help dig them up with explosives. The Kalgurans have marked the
else
locations where
is
the
there?
relics can be found. Place explosives as best
Beyond?
you
I
can to
didn't
dig
see
up
any
as many
Beyond.
as possible. There is just one problem. Corruption has brought the corpses of their ancestors to life, so you might have to do a little cleanup before you can reclaim the artifacts.
Sanctum is now the Trial of Ascendancy, but that didn't have nodes
You can
anyways.
also find remnants, the destruction of which will further anger the restless dead. Each one you blow up will make the subsequent monsters more powerful, but also more rewarding. Danig, Rog, Tujin, and Gwenin will exchange the artifacts for useful items and runic magic. You can also find tablets to increase the number of expeditions and the rewards. This one increases the radius of explosives, while this one increases the number of remnants you will find. Eventually, you might discover a logbook. These are special maps full of buried treasure and relics, essentially one giant dig site. Here, you can create an extremely long chain of explosives and go through a very high number of remnants. But be careful, many remnants have mods that can really brick your build.
Yeah, a lot of
so
stuff
you will
is the
probably
same,
want to
just
avoid
like
these ones. If you
tweaks
add
and
too many
changes.
remnants, you could easily make the encounter harder.
Difference
to
in how you
get.
progress
There are
the
all
points
sorts
for
of
it.
interesting things buried under the ground in logbooks. You might find dripping caves.
But I know
and
they'll be
hidden
adding new
fire caches,
mechanics and
but
shit.
the
They're
most
just
powerful encounter is Olroth.
they're probably
the
just
ancient
starting with the
undead
stuff they
commander
already
of
have
the
an
Knights of the
understanding
Sun.
of.
Defeating him will grant you unique rewards, as well as points to
Oh,
spend
he
in
looks
the
pretty badass.
expedition section of the Atlas tree. So those are the in-game systems on the Atlas, but we are not done yet. The trials we talked about earlier have much more content when you get to endgame too. Just like the other endgame systems, they also have progression mechanics, unique rewards, and player power that can only be gained from them. As you get higher level coins for the Trial of the Sycamores, you will unlock more floors to explore.
There's the traps.
Each floor has its own challenging rooms and a floor boss that you will need to kill.
Yeah.
There are 4 floors in total, leading to another pinnacle boss at the end of the last floor, which can only be accessed at endgame. The Trial of the Sycamores is where you'll find jewels, which you can socket into your tree. These are like passives that you can craft with your currency items. They can be really powerful as they allow you to stack modifiers that may not be easily accessible on the tree normally. This jewel gives lightning damage and shock chance, for example. There are quite a few dual sockets on the tree, so it's possible to gain a lot
Oh,
of power here.
they're on the path
There are
now.
also other types of jewels that don't provide any bonuses themselves, but affect other passives surrounding them. This jewel increases the effect of small nodes in radius by 25%. With careful placement in the tree, you could get a significant amount of power from it. There are also unique jewels available with very interesting effects, but you will have to find those for yourself. In order to push further into the trial and uncover the secrets of the Maraketh, you will want to take advantage of its progression system, relics. Relics are items that can be placed in the relic altar as you start the trial. They give special bonuses that affect the trial, making it easier and increasing its rewards.
Can you get raw orbs
You
from
can
it
craft these with your
though?
currency items, making them
Oh, you
even
can craft on the relics now.
If you can complete
That's
the
interesting.
entire trial overcoming all 4 floors, the final boss will reward you with one of many unique relics. These relics will be consumed when used on your next run, but can reward you with unique and powerful items. For example, this is the Last Flame. If you use it, you will have only 1 honor for the entire trial, so you will need to do a completely hitless run. The Trial of Chaos
And that item is
also
going to be
extends into the
stupid
endgame.
expensive.
As you gain inscribed ultimatums of higher and higher levels, the number of chambers that you can go through increases. In true Val style, this allows you to take even more risks for even more rewards. At endgame, you can progress through up to 10 chambers with 3
Bro, you
bosses
just
on a
walked
single
right
run.
into that laser
Stacking
beam.
10 tribulations on top of each other will make this a significant
WASD
challenge,
confirmed
but it's
trash.
worth it. The Trial Master will
Can't
tempt you with
control it.
items of the Val Empire, such as Val Orbs. Val Orbs are powerful crafting items that corrupt your gear with random mysterious outcomes.
The Valor looks like
Corruption
everyone
prevents
watching
an
this
item
stream
from
right
being
now.
modified further, so it has to be the last step of your craft. But it's also the most impactful one. For example, if you use one on your body armor, it might add a new powerful enchantment, or it might re-roll up to half of its modifiers. Val Orbs also have the ability to add a socket, allowing you to bypass the normal restriction of how many sockets an item can have. A body armor could get up to 3 sockets this way,
Nice.
allowing for a significant number
Can you
of
double crop for
rolls.
4 sockets?
Val Orbs can even modify uniques. Adding enchantments or sockets to uniques can make them incredibly powerful, but there is a good chance that you will break them as well. The Trial Master will also occasionally...
No,
offer
there's 2
you
different
sockets.
things you can do. You can either do the ultimatum one or the sanctum one. You don't have to do sanctum to unlock your ascendancy.
And blood magic to power
And
their
then they said they're
civilization.
adding a 3rd one you can do
Soul cores are
if you don't like
powerful
either of those
socketable
2.
items,
So you're
with
good.
mods that cannot be obtained from
I don't like
regular
ultimatum,
rooms.
so I'll be doing the sanctum.
Like all endgame content, there is of course a pinnacle boss. The final chamber will drop keys to this mysterious...
But sanctum, they said
Some
you're only going to
say
have to
this
do
is
like
where
the first
Trial
floor
Master himself resides.
to unlock the
Perhaps
ascendancy.
you are
Then you can go
willing to take the
farther if you
risk to
want.
find out.
So it's not going to be...
Had enough yet?
It's not going to
Because
be
there
too
is still
difficult.
just
The
one
first
more
boss is...
thing.
The first
The
floor
most
isn't
difficult
crazy.
content in Path of Exile 2.
Ooh, let's see some
While
pinnacle
mapping,
bosses.
You might come across this fortress that has emerged from underground, surrounded by an enormous maze riddled with danger. Is the maze preventing something from getting in, or something getting out? This fortress is of ancient origin, and its construction has similarities to the towers and tablets that you have been using on your journey through the endgame. It is clear from the entrance that there are 3 keys required to enter. Local factions are vying for access to the fortress in order to seize the power they believe will be inside. Each of the faction's leaders have managed to get their hands on one of the keys, so you will need to defeat them. Each faction is led by an Uber-Act boss. You can see one of them inhabiting the city, but in order to fight him, you will first need to defeat their 2 lieutenants in the adjacent zones. Be careful. If you fail against either of the lieutenants, or to kill the leader, they will move on, and you will need to find them again. Kill all the Uber bosses and you will gain access to the fortress. We aren't going to spoil it as
Oh,
you guys
come
attempt it for
on.
the first time. But is there a tree you get points in after killing it? Of course there is.
There's
With
a
Path of Exile, there is always another tree.
There's a fucking
Easier
tree
challenges
for the
POE
pinnacle
2.
bosses?
As you can see, this project is crazy huge.
Jesus.
Way bigger than even we expected when we started out. But how do you gain access? Well, during early access,
$30
you get a key to get in. To thank our existing POE supporters who have spent more than $480 US, we'll be giving you guys a key for the PC version for free. Anyone else who wants one can get one by purchasing one of the new early access supporter packs that have just been released to the store. If you just want early access to POE 2, then you can get a key in the $30 US early access pack. The pack also comes with $30 of points to spend in the MTX store.
Nice. Can you get
We
tabs
also
with
have
that?
a variety of other supporter packs filled with exclusive microtransactions, points to spend in the store, and even physical items. The cosmetics can be used right
The
now in
Warlord
POE
of the
1
Karui
and in
is
Path of Exile
ugly
2
as
when
fuck.
Early Access starts.
That looks sick.
Most of this footage has been recorded in Path of Exile 1, since that's where you can use them immediately. The Lord of Ogham supporter pack contains a cosmetic armor set befitting of the Count of Ogham himself. There is also a matching back attachment, which has an alternate variant depicting the influence of corruption. Also in this pack, you can find a portal formed of the rusted armor of the
That's
fallen soldiers
fucking
in the
sick.
Red Veil of
I like
Ogham,
that a lot.
and the offspring of a vicious crowbell boss found in the hunting grounds. This one doesn't look so vicious though.
I don't know, it looks like you can fuck shit up.
On top of that, you'll receive the Iron Count's Y-hander to apply
Jesus
to your
Christ.
one-handed or two-handed swords.
That is
For
extreme.
those who are wanting to decorate your hideouts with fond memories and tales of Path of Exile's history, you will also get a series of hideout statues. This pack contains the statue of Hillock. For Path of Exile 1's closed beta, each pack contained a true New Zealand icon, the Kiwi. Following this tradition, all packs in this series will also contain a new themed Kiwi pet.
Huh.
The pet will loyally follow you into battle, but run away at the first sign of trouble. Become the ruler of the desert with the King of the Faradin supporter pack. Show your mastery of traversing the sands of the Vasteri Plains. The body armor will allow you to glide along the ground with ancient sand magic. Now each armor set comes with body armor, boots, gloves, and helmet, but the boots are covered in sand. If you'd prefer to show them off, you can turn the gliding off if you want. The accompanying back attachment equips you with two powerful pillars that can control and manipulate lightning. They will periodically release their energy in a powerful blast while in town, and hover in a circle around you, arcing lightning between them, forming a barrier of energy. Replace the appearance of any bow with the Faradin's Glory skin. Or replace the appearance of a spear with the Tyranny's End spear skin. This spear skin can be applied to staves and war staves in Path of Exile 1. If you want to truly show your worth as a King of the Faradin, then you definitely need your trusty, moving, entire city fortress known as the Dreadnought to travel across the Vasteri Plains.
What the fuck?
In Path of Exile,
That's
you
a
can
hideout?
hideout however you like, and it's no exception.
Holy
here.
shit.
It comes with a variety of thematic elements to use, or use decorations from elsewhere in the game. Additionally, you will get the Deshret's Blessing level up effect. The King of the Faradin Kiwi pet. And last but not least, a statue depicting the Vaal Oversoul from Path of Exile 1. For those who don't know how supporter packs work, each pack comes with all of the cosmetics from the previous tier, so you'll get all the items from the Lord of Ogham supporter pack as well. The Thaumaturge of the Vaal supporter pack features an armor set and back attachment themed around the Vaal and their pursuit of science and progress. You can find the Soul Core weapon effect in this pack, which causes thaumaturgic energy harnessed from sacrifice to spill from your weapon. This pack also contains Doryani's Idol. It replaces the default appearance of any foci to an ancient relic once used by Doryani, and this can be applied to shields in Path of Exile 1. That's not the only Vaal weapon you'll find. It also contains the Wand of the Thaumaturge skin, and the Royal Sacrifice Dagger skin. You wouldn't think to put sacrificial gems on a Kiwi, but the Vaal did. Thaumaturge of the Vaal supporters will receive the Thaumaturge of the Vaal Kiwi pet. And the Statue of Dominus. This is also the first pack in the series with a physical item. When purchasing this pack, you'll receive a Path of Exile 2 logo t-shirt. But if you don't want one, you can opt out and return for additional points to spend in the store. Becoming a Warlord of the Karui supporter will grant you an armor set and back attachment adorned in jade carvings and iridescent feathers resembling power. Enough to even impress the ancestral gods, specifically Tukohama, the Karui god of war. Overkill, you say? I think the Karui people would disagree. Why not drop a gigantic totem on rare enemies you slay to crush them to a pulp? Replace your crafting bench in your hideout with the Ancestral Canoe crafting bench, where Ancestral Chief Mata will summon a giant canoe manned by Karui warriors to aid in your crafting desires.
We must all start somewhere.
You'll also get a pair of weapon skins. Equip Akoya's Felling Axe skin to your one-hand or two-handed axes, or Tukohama's Crusher to your one-handed or two-handed maces.
D4's over there. Look at this alternately colored
True Karui
fucking horse armor.
by their trusty Kiwi.
Now you can get it in red and black.
Harnessing ancestral magic, they make the perfect sidekick. Once one of the most feared beings in Rayclast, Malachi was slain by a powerful exile. May the statue commemorate the virtue of exiles past, present, and of the future. Of course, it's not all about dressing up in game. You'll want to look good in real life too. By becoming a Warlord of the Kurui supporter, you'll also get a Path of Exile 2 hoodie.
So do you get the hoodie and the shirt if you buy that
Pack
one?
in this series is the Liberator of Rayclast supporter pack. The Liberator of Rayclast armor set and back attachment come made with the finest materials in Rayclast, and shattered glass mosaics suspended in divine power. Set up your base of operations in the Beacon of Salvation hideout. Why restrict yourself to just one island when you can liberate more? The Beacon of Salvation hideout comes equipped with your own collection of small islands and personal operators of boats that you can use to row between them.
Jesus
Just walk to the piers,
Christ.
click a boat to enter and navigate as you choose. Decorate each island as you see fit to best represent your well-earned hideout.
That's insanely inefficient, but so
Why
cool.
not have some races? You can also get the Window to Twilight
Gamba.
portal effect, a beautiful mosaic piece of art that shatters and reveals a gateway to your desired destination as you approach it. As you walk away, the glass magically reforms back to its original form. Rule in style with the Throne of the Ruler map device. Sure, this map device can create portals to in-game maps, but it also comes with a throne you can sit on to oversee your growing kingdom. Look down on the plebeians running your maps. Being the Liberator, though, is not just about sitting on your throne all day. If you do decide to join the fight yourself, you can leave a High Priest in charge as your second in command. Liberator of Rayclast supporters will also get a set of varied weapon skins. The Light of Divinity Scepter skin, the Deliverance Crossbow skin, the Justice Flail skin, and the Redemption Shield skin. Once again, you'll have an accompanying Kiwi, and of course a statue depicting one of the most iconic events in Rayclast's history. The battle between a powerful
that's a
exile
sick
and
Katana
Futaba,
statue.
the Insatiable.
Damn.
With the help of two deities, Sin and Innocence, the exile was able to defeat him once and for all. This supporter pack also contains the Path of Exile 2 art book. This 215-page full-color art book includes a huge amount of amazing concept art and lore produced during the long and exciting journey of Path of Exile 2's development. And finally, Path of Exile
Yeah,
has a
I'm not.
tradition of
I think
letting the
that's like a
community participate in
$450 pack.
designing game features.
I'm not buying that either.
The Path
But
of Exile 2 will be adding the Twilight Order foil reliquary. By becoming a Liberator of Rayclast supporter, once Path of Exile 2 is released, you will be able to select any unique item you have found and be able to drop it from the reliquary. Once players have submitted their items, keys to the reliquary will start dropping, and other players will be able to find foil versions of uniques that you have submitted along with a message for the lucky player. The more players submit the same unique, the more chances there will be for the reliquary to drop them, so choose wisely. Now, almost all of these items are available to use in POE 1 right now. There are a few exceptions where the item class clearly doesn't exist, such as crossbows or flails. And there are also a few microtransactions on weapon types that are unavailable in POE 2 at the start of early access. Once classes that use those weapon types are added, those microtransactions will be available to use. If you can't decide which supporter pack to choose yet, you can always start with the early access supporter pack that just includes a key and some points to spend in the store. Then you can upgrade to any of the following tiers at a later date. These supporter packs will be available for purchase throughout early access. We'd really like to thank you for your ongoing support. Without you guys, Path of Exile 2 could not have happened. Now, I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions. Stick around, because coming up next, we have a live Q&A with Ziggy D.
oh man, this game's gonna be so dope. I am gonna have to make so many videos. And they, I was gonna say, they already are gonna have to put technical difficulties back on.
Enjoyed what you've seen so far. It's been pretty exciting for us here as well, as you guys have been inspired already just watching things, and you're already cooking a new ascendancy class.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to do design whenever you can.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's been a few fun moments here already, but I'm your host Ziggy D, and I'm joined by Jonathan and Mark to talk about everything you've seen. Honestly, it's so much.
I mean, we were really keen to make sure that when we went into early access that people didn't feel like it was just, limping along and kind of, just like a minimal amount of content. We really wanted to kind of blow people away. So hopefully people feel like, there is enough content. Because, it was certainly was certainly a mission to get all that stuff in.
Yeah, I did come here expecting
Yeah, don't do
there would
that.
be, maybe a basic mapping.
Well,
like
$30
endgame
for some
and your 3 acts and
points to
the
spend,
alpha
and
classes, but,
early access is pretty good.
You've
I
made
thought
a
it was going to
decision
be
here
40.
clearly that's got the core PoE player community in mind.
Absolutely. So, I mean, we have to make sure. Like, I mean, look, Path of Exile's endgame is kind of known for the fact
Or you
that
just
you
wait
can choose
before
between
release.
different types of content, and that, like, some
They'll be
people
free.
enjoy one thing, some people enjoy another, and I feel like that choice is like a huge part of what makes it good. So, if we didn't have that when we entered endgame, then I don't think that would be, like that wouldn't be a Path of Exile endgame. So that's kind of what we have to make sure of. So we kind of said, okay, well, like, what is the minimum number of like different in-game things you need to be able to have in order to be able to actually have a viable in-game that we feel like you get different choices, and that's how we ended up with what we have here.
I definitely feel like a lot of games nowadays release, and their campaign's intact and real good. You get to the end game and it just falls real flat.
It's Diablo
And
4.
It was certainly a very important moment for us when we were like, hold on, that's the wrong thing to do. Like, let's not make the same mistake as everyone else. Let's pivot. And we actually did that, and like, it made a world of difference and made the game all of a sudden, 100 times bigger with an infinite amount more content, right?
It was definitely hard though, because like, okay, so we're progressing. It's like we would have made it. We would have gotten all these acts in if we hadn't have changed direction. It's like to actually say, you know what, we're going to specifically not finish this content that we'll be working on. That we it's like pins down everyone. We're stopping work on this. We're going to move over to endgame because it's actually more important. Like, that was certainly a hard one.
That would have been some
No
whiplash,
kidding. Like,
For sure.
I don't even know why you didn't do that.
It's
in
like
the first
suddenly
place.
the whole, like, environment art team. It's like, they're all just like, whatever you're working on, just scrap. You don't want to scrap, but like, just stop it. we're doing something else now. So
saving clothes, yeah.
Especially for a lot of the developers, because you got to also think, like, a lot of our developers have just been working on this campaign for what is it now, 6 years. Like,
I think it's even longer, actually.
Yeah, it's like just this epic journey, whereas none of them, a lot of these people haven't been working on Path of Exile 1 this whole time, so some of us are like, we're just churning out in-game with every league and doing all of that, but for a lot of these people, a lot of these developers, it was quite jarring to swap over, but everyone embraced it. We talked about it, everyone was happy about it and stoked about it, and it just ended up coming out real awesome. So
I think it's landed well, and it definitely kind of blew me away when so even before I saw anything, we were in the car on the drive here, and you were just info dumping all of the end game. You're like, oh, we got this feature, we got this feature. I'm getting dopamine just from hearing about it. I haven't even seen anything yet. But do you guys feel like you're competing against yourselves a little bit here? Because Path of Exile's kind of set the bar. The original game has set the bar for what is available to endgame in a game like this, and it makes it's not acceptable really to launch with just nothing in terms of endgame now.
Absolutely. I mean, I mean, like, if you're not competing with yourself, then I don't think you're going to make good progress, right? So that's what you really have to do.
Yeah, but cracking that out for beta even.
Yep, absolutely.
Pretty
Well, as I
exciting.
said, I just think it would not have landed nearly as well without that, and I think it's important that our existing Path of Exile 1 community feels like they're also served. Like, yeah, sure, we're doing all this stuff for new players, and that's really important, and that'll expand the audience. But if we launched and all the PoE 1 players are unhappy, that wouldn't be good. So, we have to make sure that they also feel like, they've got a game for both them and for all the new players we hope to bring to the genre.
And you definitely want all those different axes as well. Like, just having two, right? You'll get a lot of content can be immediately divisive, right? Obviously, that's the nature of it. That's how it goes, right? And so you have all of these different avenues because there are different players who like different types of content.
Yeah.
So if you're just like, here's your one end game system, well, immediately then there is a portion of players who are just like, I don't want this, right? And so having all of these options is like ultra key, and that is what Path of Exile 1 has taught us. And again, it's like, I'd say lessons learned, for the genre, and it is expanding in other games and stuff. But certainly, as you said, competing with ourselves, yes, POE 1 has like, 40 axes, and we've got 7 really good ones here, and obviously more to come. But 7 is a lot, mind you.
Especially when it's all like, people have to learn a lot of things again. It's going to be very interesting to see how long it takes people to do the kind of difficulty 4 pinnacle content. It's like we have to. It's honestly like we actually don't even really know, because like you never know what people are going to find in terms of builds and so on. Like I'm hoping that it will take people a while to be able to work it out. But, you never know. Maybe end of day
we'll
one,
find
just,
some crazy
easy,
overpowered
no
shit in the first like week.
Could be what it's like.
We have a few people that are doing that sort of thing. I saw like a solo self found level 100 in 24 hours or something.
Jeez. Okay. Have we got this is where we've got it now, is it?
So but I imagine there'll be a little bit of a soft reset there for people.
Yeah, for sure.
A
There's stuff to
relearning
learn.
period.
There's stuff
you
to
know?
learn.
And I mean, PoE 2 has changed a lot over the years, so more than 5 years of development now. And what was that initial pitch when PoE 2 was first put forwards, like, as to what it's going to be? Because it was much smaller in scope originally.
Yeah, so when we started, it wasn't even a sequel. It was just we're just updating the character rigs, and over time, it kind of feature creeped into a proper sequel. But the thing that we were saying is, whenever we were talking about it, and I guess this is the main thing, is that we're like, okay, when we make an area here, it needs to be that there's like a theme for it. It feels unique from everything else. We're not going to just like have recycled stuff like within the campaign that just feels like, oh, you know, we just took this area and modified it slightly. You know, each one's got to have its own stuff. It's got to have monsters that were like carefully thought about that like, you know, fit in with the world. And it's got to have bosses that are actually like good tier quality. You know, and every area is going to have one. So those decisions have kind of been things that have meant that they really raised the quality bar to a level that took us way longer than we even really expected. Like those things there, just like it's huge, right? Like honestly, I feel like we underestimated significantly what it would take to deliver that level of quality.
I remember really early on, a battle I fought for, and I mean like way back, was like, if you think back to, say, Diablo 2, which obviously still holds a lot of, you know, power in terms of design motivations and philosophy and stuff within the company, you get things like the super uniques, and POE 1 did them, and it's just like, here's a boss with 1 or 2 skills. And I remember very, very, very early on in POE 2, I'm like, I want every single boss to be memorable and a thing. I don't want a unique monster that's just like dies in 2 seconds and uses heavy strike and has a fancy name. And I remember, I even got some push.
Poor Caliph.
I remember getting some pushback at the time and thinking like, you know, I love the bosses, my favorite part of everything, and so I was just like, man, I don't want this. This is just terrible. But of course, that decision, me pushing for that, me wanting that, turned into this megalithic.
What have you done?
Now we have 50, aiming to be 100. Honestly, probably later, several more 100 once all the end games, everything start to evolve and more expansions comes out. And I'm like, yep, we maybe just made, 100 times more work for ourselves, but 100% bloody worthwhile, because I'd say those bosses are one of the main, attraction pieces of the game. And anyone who plays it is just like, holy crap, those boss fights are amazing. So like, obviously some are bad and some are good to different people and all that. That's how it all goes. That's part of all the fun. But it is true that me pushing for that thing literally created thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of work. Now, worthwhile work, but it is again that exact thing of like, the scope was kind of small on numerous axes, and as we just raised the quality bar to what we thought was good, it certainly went from, what was it initially, just reskinning some character classes and new rigs or whatever, into this like mega scale entire campaign, everything. But
full standalone separate game. Yeah.
Fun other anecdote, since we went out of that territory. It was originally codenamed Project Chimera.
What? I don't.
It was this pipe dream.
I've never been a fan of these codename things.
It was this like, there were times way back in the original Office, there was all this like, sometimes there'll be a feature you can't really do in POE 1, and it was always like, we'll do it in Project Chimera. That was like amongst the developers, and people were like, what the heck is that? Now, ironically, there is a boss in Act 3 called, well, it's got a different name, but it's called the Chimera internally. It is a chimera. It's a multi-headed beast, and you've seen it in a few of the marketing, things here and here, different trailers, little snippets of it. And I think it's just ironic that was actually the first boss asset made before everything, the first monster, because back in when we used to just make random monsters and we'll find out how to use them. And that was made for that game. It was used in the original POE 2 trailer, right? It is the only incomplete, technically, but only from a balance standpoint, or it was the last boss to finish in the entire Path of Exile 2 campaign right now.
It sounds like there was like some sort of emotional demon that you had to battle there, of like the legacy of the original idea, and you had to finish it.
We had a moment with the monster game designers where we're like, oh my god, it's happening, the Chimera is finally being finished. Holy, this is like, we were effectively like, we need to celebrate this boss finally being done. It was like at the origin, and now it's at this, point where we're about to deploy early access. Not to say the end, because the end is forever away.
Yeah. It's still the beginning of a journey in many ways.
Yep.
But on that note of celebrating, like, how do you guys feel having now kind of for the first time, I feel really like laid bare kind of everything you have. You're putting it out there and only being 2 weeks away from everyone playing it.
Well, it's always scary, coming into a release, and I think especially for, there's like a bunch of people on the POE 2 team who have, who, like they have, this is their first game that they're going to be releasing, and that experience is something that, it's tough. And honestly, I think that even we were feeling a little bit cocky actually about the fact because we release content for POE 1 all the time, and I feel like we kind of felt like we knew what it took to get a game released, but honestly, like POE 2 was just a whole entirely different demon as far as getting things out right. Like it's just way more difficult. Like when you actually have to make everything, like the whole frickin' thing, right from the ground up again. It's like wow, there's way more stuff there, and like there's even things like the passive tree where it's like I feel like we underestimated what it would take to get something like that to an actual releasable state. Like that was a huge amount of work, just like absolutely colossal to get it to get that kind of stuff in shape. Like it's just been crazy. Obviously it's nerve wracking, coming up to.
Ask them if the servers will be okay day one.
I think we do have something that players are going to really enjoy, and it's always comforting when we had a live event in LA recently. People, we got to the time limit and everyone's like, oh man, we don't want to stop. So like I think people are going to really enjoy it.
It's been a whole different experience for me here playing this time around as well, whereas before I was playing a very buggy kind of internal version of the game that was very experimental. Now playing almost what I'm going to be playing in 2
Well, I heard
weeks,
you still managed to blow the count up the elevator with some kind of knockback bug.
I wasn't going to mention that.
Yeah, we have to get that one.
I did send the Act 1 boss up an elevator with knockback. It was good.
Intended mechanic.
I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
He was in his like big wolf form and kind of trapped in there, so just barking at me through the wood. It's good. So a few little. I'm sure there's a few things to work out over this next 2 weeks. I hope the team can have a little bit of a rest for a day before they get back into it. Maybe.
Yeah.
No, it's been a lot. So you've done that pivot to the end game focus and got so much for us now to play around with in the beta, and it seems like
The beta.
Originally, I was thinking, we might be playing for a few weeks here, and then maybe going back over to some Path of Exile 1 stuff. But it seems like you guys want us playing through Christmas.
That would certainly be good. Look, there's enough stuff there. I think it will take people a long time to get through.
Yep.
And I mean, obviously, it's also going to be the first time people are playing through a completely fresh campaign as well. I think that will take people a fair amount of time. There's and then of course the end game as well to explore.
2 days.
It should be pretty significant. We've always wanted it to be that Path of Exile 2 leagues, are going to be, like how POE 1 leagues are, where you play them and you play them for a reasonable amount of time, and then sure you get done with them eventually, and then you've got the next content that comes out. So in order to be able to realize that, you have to have enough of a base to make that happen.
Yeah, people are definitely wondering how invested they can get in the beta. So I definitely want to ask a few questions kind of around that idea. Firstly, is there going to be wipes and resets, and will there be something before launch as well?
So we are going to be having new leagues effectively throughout the beta whenever we launch something significant.
Nice.
We want to make sure that all of the effectively that people are able to play through. But that stuff will be merged into an early access league, and effectively after we go into full release, that league will stick around. Now, I can't promise that everything about your character will function exactly like how it did in that thing.
I imagine it will be a glorious kind of snapshot of all of the here's all the broken stuff. Yeah.
But effectively, we can contain all that stuff in the sort of early access league, and then if you still want to play those characters, then you can go right ahead and do that. But the action is always going to be in whatever the most recent league is, and then of course after that point, there'll be a standard that everything goes into, which all our economic sins will forevermore be archived in the in standard. So that's. No doubt what will happen.
Well, it's nice that it's not going to be affecting what will be the standard league.
Yeah.
Also,
that's
that
the idea.
people will be able to kind of get invested in their characters. Because,
absolutely.
There's even something kind of cool about the idea of making something that will be like that little historical piece.
Yeah, absolutely.
A little collectible.
Absolutely, and I'm sure there'll be some handful of legacy things that only exist in early access leagues. So, I guess we'll have to see what comes with the unique balance.
You talked about the playing for a week or how long are we expecting?
Yeah.
Well, we also got to remember, and a lot of the POE 1 players will be thinking very differently to people who are obviously going to experience this as a new game, but it is a new game, right? You don't have all these predefined, hyper-refined builds to play to immediately, go through things. You don't have people coming in with fully detailed 7 million line build guides of exactly what to do with what items. the discovery is going to be there. The discovery takes time, and the discovery is like honestly ultra fun for me. I love it.
Yeah.
Now those things will emerge after time. Of course they do. Completely fine. But you should remember, like, there's a lot of game to play here to discover, to learn about the world, the new narratives, the new world building, the new unique items, the ascendancy classes, the massive passive tree, which is bigger than PoE 1's, the like, you know, end game systems, the bosses, the like, it's not going to be this, like, you know, even, you know, I personally, when a PoE 1 league comes out, for example, I play for like a month, sometimes a bit longer, sometimes a bit less. It ultimately also depends largely what's going on here and how much I need to invest here. So, you know, and there are other people who play for more like 3 and whatnot, but there's certainly going to be a much longer time period you can play this for while still discovering new stuff and not feel like you're finished, you know what I mean? Now, of course, you see that's subjective. Everyone can pick their own point when they finish, but if you want to see everything and do everything, you're going to be investing a lot more time, especially these first-time rounds, and then obviously with every league, there's more to discover, but you get faster at doing all these parts over and over and over again. You'll get more efficient over time. That's how the game works. So, yeah, I'd expect a lot of time to be sunk into this to fully explore it, to start with, like a lot, you know. Not a week, not 2 weeks. You're going to be going far, far longer than that if you want to see everything. But, you know, it's up to you. Play at your own pace. See how you want to go. Learn at your own pace. That's the beauty of a new game as well, which we haven't been able to experience with Path of Exile 1, you know, or other games and for so long, is actually discovering the entire world. And, yeah, there's some familiar mechanics at the end game and stuff like that, which is awesome for people. But, yeah, I certainly want to really, I'm very excited to see people discovering the new things and getting so excited about it.
I can tell you're amped for watching people go through that discovery process. I'm maybe even diving in yourself
100%.
I mean, I love sitting there in Path of Building, as many of us do, but I am very excited for that.
Well, yeah, as we were
new
saying,
discovery process for a while.
I think you were saying how much you were part spreadsheet. I think I was saying I'm like maybe 60% spreadsheet, 40% discovery, and that's my play archetype. You know, so
coming up with our player profiles, Timmy spikes, and things like that for both of Exile characters.
The discovery part of me is ultra excited, and I'll mind you, that's coming from someone who kind of knows all the content. I'm still, because there's something different about making it versus actually playing it live with the players, seeing them discover it, uniques being linked in chat and on Reddit and all of that is just so cool. So we're gonna get a massive dose of that, and it is like genuinely exciting to just see how people are going to think, you know, what's worth 1 chaos or what's worth 10 chaos, what's worth...
I gotta end the stream because I got some stuff I gotta do.
Yes, is chaos even the currency that people settle on?
If you go to the main Path of Exile site,
I'm pretty sure that
the live stream's right there. You can just click on it or just search for Path of Exile 2 on Twitch, and it's the one with 117,000 people.
Ad remove will still be.
Thanks everyone for hanging out and watching. Everything looks amazing.
Multiple exalts in Act 1.
I'm super excited. I'll be streaming throughout the week next week. Probably just playing some Path of Exile 1. So
kind of like chaos.
join the Discord if you haven't.
I actually agree.
And you can hit me up on there.